working. I don't see it. It's 27 seconds since I started talking, and I still don't actually see it on my YouTube. Maybe if I hit F5, does it come up faster that way? Nope. I'm not sure. It's awful long. Usually it's only about 30 seconds, which is long enough. I'm not sure. There we go.
Everything's working.
There we go. Hear my voice. Now I'll hit F5 on this one so that I can hopefully see your chats. Yeah, so I hope that's not like added lag. Again, we put up with the lag during the series for those who want to watch bits of it later. Not everybody gets here for the full 3 hours, and I know a fair number of people watch it after us, which is okay too. So, how are you guys doing today? I am doing quite well. It's not as nice and beautiful a day out there today, so I don't feel, not that I feel bad about doing this, but when it's just beautiful summer weather, it's on a Saturday afternoon, it's a little hard to want to not, to want to be inside at all doing anything. But today's a little bit more dreary, so I hope your weather is better than mine, or was, depending on where you're at. So here we are. Let me get time started, at least for the first few minutes on the one-time speed, and we can kind of catch up on where we were. If you guys remember, I think we've just made a little bit of steel because we're purchasing it, so we have 4 workers in there. Not exactly overly impressive, but if you remember from the last series, let me say hello. Hello, Alex and Shunter and Off the Rails. Welcome. Glad to see you guys here. I think what we were working towards, at least we had sort of voted on, was getting our coal mine going. So we have 2 of the construction sites on that. I did do a little refresh before I started talking, and we were pretty well on our way. I mean, we've still got a lot of work to get our coal processing, and then we'll have to get these conveyors built. If you notice, we have one from our coal mine to our coal ore processor, and then we have a pump here, which helps get it over this road, I think, mostly. Plus, I don't know, that would be awful long for a single conveyor anyway. And it's far enough away from this road that we did a little dip down lower right here, and we got underneath of it no problem. So we'll get some coal going. We also, at some point, should probably get our iron ore going. Now, mentioning all of this, if you guys have an opinion on the direction that we head, we have, that's a bus stop? Yeah, that's that way they can drop off eventually people to the bus stop. And really, if we're going to do that, we probably want to put in a footpath, don't we? Not so much to this one, though it might not hurt. Let's see. I guess probably over this way would be good. One thing nice about the footpaths is they're building in the way. Oh, we have something else there. Do we have electrical? No. What do we have in the way? Building in the way. Okay. Well, let's do this then. I don't know what was going on there. So sometimes in life I just don't question the unquestionable. Can we go out this way? Yeah, they do better with footpaths. We don't have to build all those immediately, but they do better with just traveling on footpaths or the roads that have like the top type of road, the ones with the asphalt road with streetlights and sidewalks. But those are awful expensive, especially when we're not even making our own steel. So we'll get some footpaths up there. That was a little bit of a distraction from what we were doing. I want to get we're working on it, this other construction office, just so we have full construction capabilities down here. Let me say hello to Dennis. How are you doing, Dennis? And the Fox Gaming, otherwise known as Foxy Cool. Welcome. And who else is here? I don't want to miss Mike. Mike Gannon, thank you for coming, each of you. Let me read what the comments actually were. What's the key to having buildings at full capacity? Probably having way more people than you need. As far as full capacity, I assume you mean like getting this to where you're absolutely maxed out. I'm not sure if you ever get it absolutely maxed out because even in situations where I've had thousands of workers, in a sense, hundreds of workers, more than you would ever need, you always have people leaving and coming and going. So I don't think you're ever going to see it like always at 500, because people will only head there when there's like a space for them to go work. So, the best you can do is get it really high. As far as that goes, it's just people. I mean, you have 3 shifts, so keep in mind you don't need 500 people to keep this one maxed out. You would need 1,500 people to keep this maxed out. And even then, I would say, given the fact that, some of those people may, I don't know, decide to go on holiday or whatever they're doing, you probably even want more than that, especially if in this town you need people to work your cinema and your stores and your schools, and we'll have this. So we would probably need like 2,000 people, say, to keep this fully going. You probably need 200 or maybe 300 for your average town for people to work and whatnot. But, but right there you could have, we're still building the university, but when you think about this, you could have, that's 25 people between the staff and the teachers times 3 shifts, right? So there's 75 people you could have just for your school. And so yeah, just really having enough people, and then making sure your busing or your trains are just right on top of getting people delivered as soon as they're needed, which is really where using the trains for getting people to a place is really a lot better, because you can usually, like the trains, especially if it's just like a passenger loop, you can really get them spaced out nicely and dropping off people every time you need more. And the other issue is with the pollution. You don't want these people too close to where the pollution's going to be. Now, somebody, I'm sorry, I forget, it was a week ago, somebody had asked a question in the comments from the last video. Could we take passengers right into these rails? I don't know if any, do you guys know that? I've never tried it. I didn't check it out this week, but it's an interesting idea. You can certainly take buses. There goes our bus right into the other place. So on that principle, I guess you could do it. I hate to build a whole line when we don't have much money or anything just to test that out. But that is an interesting question. You have 3 lines there. There's no way I don't think we'd ever need 3 lines worth of trains just to get steel out of there. I mean, it might not hurt, but I wouldn't have a problem with dedicating one of those lines to that. So yeah, definitely using trains to get people. Now the trams could be better too. I just really haven't played with them enough to know if they would be as good as the trains or better than the buses. Obviously they're a little more expensive because you have to build the tram roads and all that, but there you go. I hope that answers your question, Foxy Cool. Yes, we probably should even go into fast forward mode here. We are just picking up, obviously, right where we left off with the save. Just we'll go into fast forward because it doesn't feel like we get a ton done. 3 hours of fast forward speed. It doesn't always feel like that much to me, but in any event. Yeah, so we're working on our coal mine and that's going to suck up a lot of both our steel that we're making. We really just don't have that much money, and as far as manpower goes, I think it's going to be the same kind of thing. Now, we could try to drag some extra people from here, but if you remember, we did drag people from out of here over to the other town. Not many, but a few, and we really, we don't have that many workers over here either, so we sort of have a bit of a worker shortage. I would like to see us get to the point that we're really maybe not exporting steel, but I'd definitely like to see this going up, because steel is another good thing to export if you as far as the money goes. Now, you could probably argue that why export your steel when you could build more buildings that would make you more money rather than exporting your steel. Or if we export our excess oil, that's just, what else would we do with it? It's not like we could build more buildings with the oil. Bitumen, but we don't really need that much bitumen for roads. Not like we need steel for every other thing that we do. All right, so let me keep reading since you guys are asking questions and making comments. The footpath connection is a bit dodgy. It has to come straight out a little. Yeah, there. I guess it does. Well, there it goes. It comes out straight a little, and then it turns. It's more like a regular sidewalk would be, maybe with a 90-degree turn. We just don't have one going this way now. Yeah. So, well, if you're New Republic, I'm not sure what to say about. What do you mean by struggling with workforce, Foxy Cool? We're struggling with workforce here, and that we just don't have enough people. We have a rule against purchasing them in. And that, let me talk about that for half a second. There was a comment towards starting a food facility. I think it was Radomir was suggesting it. I'm not sure if he's here today. I haven't seen him yet. But if we were to start, I don't know if we would do it here, but the only thing I was thinking is we do have the rule against starting away from what is a regular city, right? Like that was going to be one of our limiting factors. Now, we vote on these things from week to week, so what we decided a month and a half ago, I don't really have a problem with us changing the rules. They're not written, they're not the 10 commandments type thing, right? They're not they're not written in stone. So, but that would still be my intention unless somebody suggests otherwise. So, my thought with trying to put crops like all the way up here, I understand we don't need people for the crops, but we would need them for like the alcohol and meat and bread production. So I would tend to still want to put them closer to that other production stuff over here. I don't want to, like, again, this is not Rever the dictator of socialism here. This is, we all vote on things. So let me know what you guys think about either building our farms here and then we, take advantage of the fact we already have a city with room around it to do some different. I was picturing that we would kind of stay here, with a couple different industries. I'm not sure what we might put over here, but we could decide either that or we have a little bit less room in some ways over here with this mountain range kind of around us, but we have room to do stuff up here. And in the first attempt / playthrough of this map, if you remember, we did our little farm over here. At that point, we're sort of already half moved over into this area. So I'm not sure that there's any particular argument for why we would try to jam a farm in this particular spot. Probably should even just going to go ahead and get rid of these buildings. We could decide whatever we want. I think they were when we restarted the map. We restarted with like the basics already done. So that we didn't have to restart just putting down new house, like to get back to that what I'll call basic start position, where you have some people and some, like, why relay out all this little construction stuff at that. If you just wanted to start in the same point, you get the idea. So what's this? Get rid of that one too. And then I think we decided that when we restarted it, we would go with the oil start versus going with the agricultural start. So. And another thing to keep in mind, and it doesn't mean we're not open to more suggestions. Of course we are. But we have this other, probably fairly weak coal mine over here. But we have a brick or no, that's the processor. But then we have like the brick factory. We have an aggregate storage. I think just this is more of a placeholder. I don't think I would put this exactly right here, but I didn't want to, kind of wanted to remind myself, don't build anything there because some industry might go there. I don't know if that's the ideal place for a cement plant, but since cement needs coal, I thought that was good to put there. And then the other thing you probably would consider putting near here might be prefabs, because we already have the gravel and we have the cement, and that's pretty much what you need for the prefab panels. And of course bricks here, and then really one of our growing expenses is going to be power. So the thought of putting power over here as opposed to, and again, we're not limited by my thoughts here, right? We're just talking about what is so far the plan. Knowing how much coal, like we're not going to have enough coal and iron for this one steel mill. So I personally would vote kind of away from, using any of this coal for anything but the steel, because there's really not too much coal over in this area. I think we might be able to squeeze another coal mine in. But let me read some more chats while we're at it. I know I'm going back a little ways, but Dennis, yeah, I tend to agree. 3.5 times is a good rule. If you want to do a little more mathematics around it, you probably could in different circumstances, but that's certainly, I would agree with that number 100%. If you had 3.5 times 500, so what you're talking about in the neighborhood of 1750, that would certainly be a good number. 1700, 1800 people. Yeah, and off the rails, I agree with you. I really don't tend to worry too much about things running at full capacity. I'd just as soon build another plant. It's like, but you guys probably have seen my regular series and would know that, yeah, I just, let me build two of these, and if they both run at half, then I'm happy. I got the equivalent of full capacity in a sense. I think you're better off kind of doing that. Maybe not in the same area even, but you're kind of better off, I would think, finding another place to build another steel mill, and if you really need the extra capacity. Well, you just need one person. I mean, unless you're talking about like a school, where here you're going to need, like us one staff member at least, and one. So I mean, we have 5 people in the steel mill. It's making steel. Look, now that the truck's pulled away, well, I mean, it's not impressive in its rate, but you don't need, as long as you have the materials, which we're purchasing them in. So even in the future, we could just leave these set on purchase, and as long as you have a pump, that'll work out. But make sure that you have, like, what I would call it, a pump, one of these transfer mechanical, what it's called, yeah, mechanical conveyor engine transfer. Like if you don't have one of those, then you can keep buying, because like if you're just going right out of one of these storage yards, like it doesn't pump into there. Like the reason we have this full of gravel is because of this transfer station, not because of this yard. So the problem is when you go to purchase, you'll end up purchasing even though you have plenty of stuff in the yard if you don't have the transfer thing. So keep that in mind. As far as that has nothing to do with your manpower, but it is worth knowing. So when we talk about like this situation, where is our, oh, there it is. Yeah, see, we have this transfer pump here because we had to get around. We have 2 of them actually, but that'll ensure that if we leave this on purchasing, that it's going to keep pumping everything out of here that it can. And that means that we'll have the max in here and we won't keep purchasing unless we need to. But see, now we've got 0 people and we stopped altogether. And I don't know if it's worth, we can take a look here, but we only have 4 workers and buses. Look, we got buses coming in here faster than we got workers coming in pretty much at this point. So yeah, we just need to get to more workers. Now we could probably assign some of these houses to go to work there, and I don't think that hurts you at all. The other thing that I mean, again, I don't know what problem exactly you're running into is, you really might consider, see, I have this turned, I don't know if you can read that or not, but I have it turned to just for the number of workers, like, because you could be filling up, but it doesn't sound like that's your problem. But keep that in mind. If you're not getting enough workers, you could have like a ton of passengers and students waiting in there, which is a waste of their time, and it's blocking the workers. So it is worth thinking about this micromanagement of who sits at what bus platform, and depending on your exact circumstances, you might want to also like open up the buses. See, like let me get there. Gotta catch them. It's too fast. I'm getting too old. Oh, wait, is it? Or is it underneath? I just can't catch that little bus. Let's catch a bigger bus. There you go. So you might also want to consider, like you can see, I don't have students and workers. So if we ever put students and workers to go to this bus stop, which we might, not that they'll go there unless they have to, but you can kind of control the flow of people, which I've heard of people having problems with that as far as their workers go. It's just sort of guessing. Yeah, 80% full factory is fine. Like that's, I mean, if you want to take it as a challenge to try to keep it at 100%, go for it. But I wouldn't feel bad if you had 80%. I'd feel like that was a real good number to have consistently. I mean, it might go up a little bit at times, it might go down a little bit. Again, it depends on, the buses are tough, especially if they get in traffic because they tend to get all jammed up and they're not real well spaced out. So see, because that, well, where is this guy going? Yeah, he's going to the sea. Look, because that guy went to the gas station. Well, this guy's going someplace else, but a lot of times they end up like back to back, the buses. So you end up with these like swellings of people. So you're really better off with getting trains out to the people kind of ASAP. Now, one thing I know we talked about, we have 2 trucks here, right? Do I have them going to the right place? This guy's going to the other place. Do I have one that goes to here? I should. Where is he? Oh, he's coming here now. Okay. Good. But I'm not... Do we have... No, we just don't have any steel in there, do we? Oh, what's going on? Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, you know what? Somebody told me about this. I love doing this. This isn't me making a mistake, of course. This is me keeping you guys on your toes. Okay, well, when you set up a truck route, it's an excellent idea to make one of them pick up a load and then he unloads at the other one. And then you can decide whether you want him to wait at both places or not. Yeah. Okay. I do that. Well, it's the game's fault. There we go. I'll blame it on the game. Because sometimes when you click it, you know, like if we did 2 in a row and then you end up deleting one, you forget to change that one back to unload. There we go. Look, we got some steel in there. So what I was doing was hoping to unload all of this steel. Yep. And then we need to switch our construction guy. We just had him use up the rest of the steel there. So let's click on here and, oops, not that, this. There we go. Sources without steel that quick. So then the question is, do we want to start purchasing steel over here? I probably would tend to think yes, but let's take a vote if you guys have an opinion. I mean, I think it's probably better for us to keep our steel, keep us in steel, even though it's going to cost us more money. It's sort of, I could almost call it the Dennis equation. At least he's a big proponent of the idea that the faster that you can start getting your industry going, the more money you make. It's better to import things and auto build. And again, it's not that Dennis always auto builds or always does things as fast as he can, but he's just aware of the fact that there's a financial incentive to getting all of this stuff running ASAP, even if it means purchasing in steel. In the long run, you'll be better off because we won't be purchasing the coal, even though it'll cost us some extra money for the steel. So let me know what you guys think. Should we buy steel there? And then we probably, oh, look, we got another. Okay, so we decided, or let's confirm, at least we had talked about it. I don't know if we decided or I just said it. Should we buy more vehicles here, or should we move them over from the other area? So while I give you guys a chance for the chat lag to catch up with me, I guess we're going to have to get people from here, right? We don't have another bus stop. No. We just have a very unimpressive. Yeah, we can get that. Let's, yeah, so steel, oops, what? Bricks. So should I move guys over from the other town, do you think? Or, I mean, it's not going to take them that long to get here. It's not like, I mean, they are just sort of sitting over there for the most part. We do have, yeah, mechanical and electrical components. Very good. All right, so there we go. So what do you think about those two different things? Should we purchase steel, and should we purchase trucks. Let's go see what we have over here. We have this guy who's just really a bunch of dumpers and stuff. Well, I guess he is actually a road paving crew, but he was just searching out roads, which I think he's, you know, if we kind of go like this, he's really sort of at his limit to help us without us assigning him stuff. Now, there's the benefit to, you know, they are closer to the gravel and they have all the supplies they need. Now, what about this one? This one is busy working from over here, and he's what I would call a standard construction crew with a crane and, you know, regular dumpers, 2 buses, excavator, bulldozer. You probably don't need excavator and bulldozer in a regular construction crew, but that's what we have. So that's what we would talk about moving over. Leave them off to the side and catch up with what you guys are saying. Yes, thank you, David. Was it you that made the comment? Here, I could probably go look pretty quickly here. Somebody made the comment. I give them credit. I hate to, but I don't hate to bring it up, but it's like, then I bring it up, but then I forget who said it, that it was a good comment. So we'll go over to here and I look up the old live stream. Give credit where it's due. Refreshing myself. There we go. Yes, David, it was you. See, I did remember. So thank you for the comment. Thank you for the sharp-eyedness, too, to catch that on the fly like you did. Yeah, it catches me out. You really need to double check that load unload thing, so. So your Unitown residents, oh yeah, like you mean your, oh, will they, oh, so they do prioritize is what I'm reading into your comment off the rails, that they would prioritize going to this building, but if you put many of them in here and then these all got filled, then they would leave here and go like back over to like the village, say here, or just anywhere on the map. Yeah, that's even more of a reason to destroy the houses, in my opinion. Now, do they move back? No, they're not moving back into here. I mean, they are attached by a road right there, so. But they're really not overflowing yet anyway, so I guess they wouldn't move. But they're nice and happy without their pub. Doesn't seem, they have no alcoholism. So we, you know, not sure, certainly proving that you don't need to have a pub here. Whether or not that goes against your grain, kind of like it does mine. Every town should have a pub. Not that everybody should drink, but everybody should, you know, a pub is a nice thing to visit once in a while, if nothing else. What do we have going on here? Okay, you're just going, somebody must be bringing fuel back over. Now, or we're not having any fuel issue. No, not in particular. As a matter of fact, that's kind of exactly what I want to see, right? We have enough oil that as we get more people, the oil number goes back down, and yet we're exporting enough of it that we're not filled up with either one at this exact moment. Kind of means we seem to be maxing it out for the time being anyway. I'm sure the balance will go off. What was here? Is that something we did deliberately, I hope? Kind of forget why that's all goofy. Okay. Yeah, so as far as let's take a look at our population. And see, our money's not overly impressive there, which is sort of, watching it go down like that means we're probably at a new stage like here. Yep, see that? We're bringing more and more steel over. And are we at a new stage here? No. But that would be my argument for moving the other crew over here. Is just why not save the money? I don't know which one we would move. Probably this one. They don't seem to be doing too much over here. And then we could just have them auto search roads over there. I don't think we have that many more roads to do we? Not really. Not until we start designing on over here, which is sort of the first question that we didn't necessarily answer at this point. See if you guys have an opinion, just to remind you. Should we put our farm over here or put it near here? Which again, but if we're going to follow our rule of not building towns other than when there's already a town in that area, I don't know why we would want to haul all that corn all the way over to here to process it, in other words. When we could do both. It's not that hard to build a farm, right? I mean, it really is, what, one building, maybe you add a silo to it, and then you put the farm fields around it. Leveling out just so you can get all your farm fields is probably about the worst part of it. But we can definitely get on that, building a farm somewhere, whatever we decide. Well, that makes sense. Thanks for letting us know that off the rails, because that is good to know, especially if you're on a populated map where you've, yeah, that would definitely have got me too. Yeah, they don't use them much anyway, and then now maybe, and it just, they don't, like from my testing, they just don't seem to do anything but negative things to you. You know, whoever designed the game, or at least the pubs, probably not a raging alcoholic pub goer for sure. Because they probably would have made it a little bit friendlier towards actually being helpful in some way. It seems like it's only hurtful having a pub. But the only good thing the alcohol is kind of good for is to export it at that point. All right, so let's make sure these guys have work to do. Yeah, I want you to do that and this. And I'm not being in a real big hurry, just because, you know, the more I assign there, yeah, now I don't want to forget too, we have a long-standing request. Maybe this is something else to remind ourselves of from Pietro. He wants me to build his house up in the hills somewhere or something. I forget exactly what he wanted me to do, but maybe we'll do that for him one day. Maybe we'll call it the gulag. We send people that we don't want to see anymore. We call it Pietro's house. If we don't want to see him anymore, we'll send them to Pietro's house. So that's what happens when you're not around to defend yourself, right? People extend on your own idea and twist it around in strange ways. All right, so I think what I want to do, let's see, is this one? Yeah, I think I want to make another construction crew, not necessarily out of both of these, but send what I would consider a very regular construction crew over here, as opposed to, or do we just do a regular road crew? Let's do kind of a regular road crew. Which this one, yeah, this just all of these vehicles would really probably be good. Now I like, just so you know, just because my own anal retentiveness or whatever experience, whatever you want to call it, if you open these last ones and send them, it's a little easier to keep track of. Because sometimes they start leaving on you too quickly. I clicked on that and then let's go back. So we'll get these guys over here. They should have all their supplies. We'll leave the other one working away, and this will be a road crew over here, and then we'll decide on our question, or I'll just go for it. Yeah, don't click on that, because it does remember like the last one that you clicked on. Like if we hit escape, like see, it'll just close that one. Yeah, maybe I should just escape each time I. There we go. So we get all our dumpers over here. Good. Now, as far as what this guy's doing, yeah, for the moment, why not just have him do everything? Because even if he brings the materials here, it's not the end of the world. It's mostly just going to be gravel. Probably means if we're going to ramp this up, how are we doing? Well, we got a truck sitting there waiting. And we're going to build this pretty shortly. So this will let us put, this is an unloading, and it'll let us have our traffic jam of trucks going in over here, and that way it doesn't tend to block. We can have that sit there and wait is the big thing. If they're not needed at that exact second, if they sit there and wait, then it doesn't tend to clog these guys up from being able to get stuff. So yeah, this guy still has plenty to do with the coal processing. It's very easy to get ahead. And look at our money going down, and we really can't afford to run out of money because that's the way we're making our power right now. And we don't have any other way of getting power going unless we have some money. So how are we doing on this guy? How are we doing on our population for what day is it? Well, let's just take a look at this year. Very, very steady. And how is it looking? Well, I mean, we have babies. I'm not sure I think this is a good ratio. I have to be honest, I don't pay that much attention in my regular series because I just always seem to have more people than we need. The unbuilt flats won't take workers unless they have all of the supplies that they need in order to get, not all of the supplies, but if they have some of each of the supplies that they need. And that's the same thing for like buses going to a stop. So once this one gets a little bit of concrete, a little bit of gravel, and a little bit of asphalt, then they'll start going there. So these guys will probably just sort of get auto built at that point, which I'm kind of okay with. Like it doesn't bother me in the grand scheme of things. If it's sort of the purpose of having, this guy just going anywhere he wants to drop off whatever he wants. Right? Just sort of keep them busy. Hopefully these trucks stay rolling. Just helping these guys, and by setting these guys up, I'm kind of setting the real priority by the ore processing, and then the hospital, and then the university. Does that make sense? So yeah, the rule, I just sort of know that from experience. And if you look at any construction job, that's true. Like that's the same thing that like keeps the bus from taking them here. Like until they get the resources. Well, plus it's also not assigned, but even if they were close by, it wouldn't send them, even if we were in the middle of construction, when you start a new phase of construction. Oops, sorry. Let me go over here. See, we're at a new phase of construction, and I don't know how long we've been there, but if if we go to the next phase, like they won't send any workers out till at least a few of the ingredients get there, if that makes sense. Just reading some of the chats here. Yeah, if we run out of educated people, and in this map, technically speaking, with our little extra rules that we've made for ourselves, we're not allowed to import any people. So if we run out of educated, we're toast. Of course, at that point, I imagine we'll take a vote on whether we continue or not. Now, I'm not hearing a huge amount of voting for or against Radomir's idea to go over there. So I will soon use my dictatorial powers like I did with our moving the construction crew over. to decide on starting to lay this out where we would have a farm here, right about where this hill is. Let's put on the wireframe. There's a hill right there, and I remember from the last time, like that's right about the area I think that would be the middle. And the other thing I needed to do was get, yeah, of course, we have an excavator here, but I don't think we have a bulldozer, which is okay if we use road leveling. Right now we'd have a hard time leveling because we're using this stuff, so that's the other side of this. If we're not going to pause time to do the leveling, and we don't have to do a lot of leveling, not like crazy river leveling on the regular series, but I do need to smooth some of this out just to get the fields in there kind of nicely. And I'm not going to go nuts with it, but I also don't want to really stop our construction if we're using those things. Yeah, how are we doing on the educated around the map? Now, we got to keep in mind these aren't all... Well, we've got a lot of educated people. 800. I don't even know why do we have so many university educated people. That doesn't seem right. I don't remember having that many. We only got 13 in this building and 23, and see what I mean? How do we get up to 800? Something's wrong there. Because look, we got 5 houses here. They each have, let's say, 20. That's 100. Well, we could, oh, you know what? That's right. We could have a lot in here, couldn't we? Yeah, maybe we do, because we do have the university over here. Yeah, I guess we do. Good. I kind of almost forgot we had that university. Well, good. We're okay with the educated, even if we have to move some over here to get kickstart this. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely times where we definitely should keep an eye. Biggest thing to do is keep an eye on your schools periodically, especially if you don't have a university in that area. But even if you do, one of the best ways to tell if you're having problems, it might even be a little too late, but if you even just start seeing adults pop into here, something's going on. Unless you've just imported a lot of third world immigrants, you really shouldn't even see the older kids in here. So we're in good shape, you can pretty much tell. And then, of course, look at the number of teachers you have at that moment, too. But it gives you a good idea if you're getting enough over there. There goes our hospitals going up. Nice. All right, so why don't we start... Well, again, I'd like to get some more of this. There we go. Our excavator went back in there. Yeah, so that's... You know, the other thing that works with this, or doesn't, is do we take this bus out of here? Yeah, I think I may do that. I think I might take the bus out of here. And do we get our depot done? Yes. So we're going to take the bus and put it in there, but I'm going to take this bulldozer and put him in there. So that way we can do the leveling a little bit more friendly, as long as he's not working on a road, which, yeah, remember I suspended the construction, I think. Should I suspend the construction on this? Yeah, just for now. We don't need these residence buildings anytime particularly soon. We got enough universities that I don't really see the big benefit of moving those people from here into there, or even eventually we can use those, but I'd just as soon get the leveling and the farms built. Okay, so now that I think we're kind of stabilized and we will run out of fuel periodically, I'd like to start kind of as far back here as is reasonable to do, and get some fields in. So, And we probably should just get to the field thing altogether. Because we can... Oh, no. You know what? I want to do some road leveling first. At least where it's obvious. Like, see, like spots like... Oh, we need a free excavator. I thought we had a free excavator. Or are we just still too far away? I think we might be too far away. Yeah, the excavator's there. So how far can we go? All right, we should be in the ballpark there. Okay. Right there. We can go there. Can't go there. Well, that's not very far, is it? So I think we're going to have to... I don't mind that we built that construction, but I think we're going to want another construction out this way. So let's start thinking about what we would do as far as like the bakery and the vodka and the meat kind of facility. Now I think we're only going to have one farm here to start, so we don't want to go nuts with these. So let's sort of pick an area out that's not too far away, but that we don't have to level too much. You know, I think if we kind of looking at it, it's kind of getting hilly here. We would have a bus or a train bringing people over anyway, so I don't think we have to be real close. We could have... Just trying to look at where we would expand the town to. We could expand the town further out this way. So what do we say if we went like over in this general region? Oops. Sort of at least leveled out a little bit of an area. Again, not level, but flatten, just so it's not these hills. How does that relate to our road here? Oops. Didn't want to build that. All right, so if we just had a road that came straight out, well, this would definitely be far enough away. And how is that relative to... Yeah, we don't want them to have to go too far this way either. So if we built a regular paved road, let's just sort of, let me make it a little nice looking for us. Oops, I did that again. Pay more attention to what I'm doing. And let's just take that hill out because we can. All right, so if we brought, I don't want to go too far, this guy down to here, then what I would picture is we would have the road, again, just to make it, just have a little bit of a buffer on each side of semi-flat. That's not quite straight. I can't really see what straight is. All right, and one way or the other, that road would, yeah, there's where I was thinking about the center or where the farm would be. It's right around here. So I won't necessarily build that road just where it's at, but we know where straight off of this road is now. If we had busing coming out here, what do you think? Like just, I think I kind of, well, either area, either side, or do we do it on both sides with the idea that we could expand? I don't know how much we want to worry about alcohol. Just because we're not going to use alcohol. It's a good export, but are we better off just sticking with the food and the meat as our main save us exports? And they're also, you know, pretty decent products for, oh, come on, turn red or yellow. You know, they're also very decent products for exporting if we have excess. want to go too much further because we're getting kind of close to where the farm might be. And we don't need that much room. But I'm thinking maybe we do it sort of on both sides. We don't have to get into too much of this, but I don't think the bakeries would take up a huge amount of room. We could eventually leave this open for trains coming in, kind of leave ourselves plenty of space. So I'm thinking, what do you guys think? For now, no alcohol, just meat. Maybe we have, we really just need one slaughterhouse, and then we could talk about a number of the meat, the livestock facilities. So what I'm thinking of is, if I just find, let's see what this looks like as far as levelish goes. As long as it's not, see, that's almost, so let me then just level this out a little bit, just so I have a bigger target. And I'll just it's sort of a lot uphill. Let me make sure I haven't been looking at the comments. Yeah, and I like another big thing about the game, and it's not the biggest thing, and you can definitely argue and win your argument against me, is I really like the idea of getting to the point you're self-sufficient, in the fact that it's more relaxing. And I don't doubt that you couldn't have really good industries that made you not need to be self-sufficient. But at the same time, when you are self-sufficient, you just don't have to worry about the prices of things nearly as much. And I'm pretty sure they all kind of go up about evenly. So I don't think there's some massive advantage either way. But I just like if you're a Soviet republic, aren't you supposed to be self-sufficient? Something along those lines anyway. Yeah, this is a little bit goofy what's happening here, but I'm not unhappy with it either. Yeah, see how it sort of raised things up. Yeah, let's go take our leveling tool. It's effectively free anyhow. Yeah, see how well we do. We're really actually pretty darn level. I mean, this is the true leveling tool, as opposed to the other one, which does goofy things and doesn't quite really level anything, but except for one spot. Yeah, see, this one I'll use the other tool because it's just takes out if you go around in circles, it just takes everything to an average. So it tends to just smooth out the bumpy spots. So you got to watch it it's like you got to chase it around a little bit, or else you will mess things up worse than you make them. There we go. Kind of like spray painting if you don't really know how to spray paint. There, so we have two nice little flat areas with a road, kind of prepared for that. So if we lay this out, I think let's just do this real quick, just to get a gauge. I can kind of plop in a couple of big fields, even if they, I was saying I wanted to come out to about here, right? So realistically, we would want centered as best we can around a farm. So we would have a farm somewhere here. We would want 14 fields. So depending on how we decide to do that exactly, maybe we'd put like 3 in the back there, and then we would probably have a couple turn this way. How about 3 this way? Just trying to get an idea of the space. Right, so that would be, now imagine we had like 3 in the back, 3 along each side would be 9 total. And then we'd have the farm in there. And then we had 3 here would be 12. And then we try to squeeze in a couple extra. I think this is a good enough estimate as to where that farm would need to be. The extra fields I would probably tend to put this way because it's a little bit wider right here, right? Because I don't think we're going to get too many more than 3 across the back. And then if we had, yeah, this would, we might have to level a little bit extra to move these over. So right in this ballpark would be where we would put our farm. And then we would have fields, like say another 5 fields along here. So this would be 9 plus 5. And they should all be pretty close to there. Hopefully that works out. Yeah, and there you go. So we have this little bit of extra room. And the reason I just did that whole thing was to say, you know, was my road in a reasonable place? And I would tend to think yes. And I would also say, why don't we do another construction office in this region? And while we're going to want a gas station right at the farm, I think it might be a good idea. Well, you know what? I think it might have a good idea to have the gas station up over here. Where is our nearest? Well, we have one right there. Yeah, maybe we put one over here. I don't think they're that expensive. Let's go over to roads. All right, so, and the main reason for this construction office, who knows, we might even knock it down one day, but at least we can get the bulldozers over here at that point. Yeah, I think I'd just leave that. Even if they build this because they're auto-building things, I'm okay with that. Now, what are you guys doing? Concrete can't produce concrete. Because you don't have any cement? Well, somebody should tell you to buy cement. That would have been smart probably a while ago. How were we doing it before? Or maybe we were counting on them. Oh, look, we got our ore processing done. Very good. We're down to 84,000. I wasn't paying much attention to that. Now, here's a question I've never asked myself in life. Is it better to buy the ore? Well, we don't have the conveyors built quite yet. But is it better to buy the ore or the coal? All right, so how much is the difference in the price? And then we got to remember, too, we really don't have a lot of people. So I don't know that we're better off not just making the coal than trying to get extra people to come up here to work on our ore processor. Oh, yeah, you know, the other problem we're going to have here is this guy's auto searching for buildings and factories and everything else. So he's buying stuff at a prodigious rate. So in other words, he's likely to be bringing stuff to things like this conveyor. Yeah, look at that. Which is good or bad, but I'm thinking that I really probably, yeah, factory connections. Don't do conveyors and pipelines. Don't do electrical wiring. Yeah, just do the buildings, roads, and footpaths. And then I think the damage might already be done. And I don't know. Yeah, let's take off unfinished conveyors. I don't really care if you leave the factory connections on there, but yeah, you know what? Like, we're going to get rid of those too. Yeah, that's fine. Do I see any other? So we probably, that's good and bad. I just want to control our money a little bit by making sure he's not going to go. I think he already did his damage that he was going to do, which is fine. There's nothing in here that I wouldn't want built eventually, but yeah, I don't think he's auto searching over this far. Yeah, so that's fine. That makes sense. So yeah, let's let our money recover a little bit here. It's getting to the point I'm getting a little nervous but I'm glad to see it going back up. Oh, look, we got... Yeah, that's right. This guy looks like he's a lot more finished, even though they still have a lot of work to go. They're doing their underground mining, I suppose. Yeah, now what are you working on? Let's make sure these guys are... Yeah, Technical University. Good. We've got one person working there. So some of this... Yeah, it's just a matter of patience. And we really don't even have the money to auto build that much. And look, it just went down another big chunk. One person working there. How is our... Yeah, we only have 187 unemployed, which is really not... Yeah, that's really not too bad. I don't know what's a good percentage to normally have, but 10%, maybe a little bit more than 10%, 15%. Yeah, the worst part about them doing all this work is they are taking people away from the other constructions that we might want to prioritize a bit more, but we'll see. It's all right. It all should get built eventually. Not sure if it's making that much difference either way. Yeah, the biggest thing I've found that causes traffic jams that I might have made the mistake is putting them too close. I don't mean like facing each other, but if they get backed up at the gas station or anything, like it's better to have a little bit of a longer road where they get backed up in the driveway as opposed to in the little bit of road as opposed to backing out into the main street. But yeah, normally I don't do it this way. I'm not sure quite why I did it that way I don't know. Let's turn off our wireframe though. Okay. So now, I guess the next thing to do would be to think about how we would do this as far as I'm thinking of. Is there... Just trying to look for an argument one way or the other. Let's take a look at our space here as to where we should do this. Like, there's not really enough room in here for another farm. When you consider our farm's going to take up like the whole screen here to get the 14 big fields, that makes it pretty efficient. I mean, it would take up like this kind of whole space. So if we were going to do a second farm, I would tend to think maybe it would go over here. Or maybe we even put it over at the border, like Radomir was suggesting. But so I guess I'm trying to think is there any advantage or disadvantage to just plopping these right near this road? The obvious advantage is the shorter the bus rides or even a future train rides, probably the better for the workers. Though I don't think there's a massive difference whether it's here or there as far as the workers go. So now I don't really think that we're going to cut ourselves off from some future building a farm someplace, or we might, depending on if there's minerals in the hills and whatnot. I know there's some coal over here. I don't think there's really a whole lot in this exact spot as far as blocking minerals. And we've got 10 tons of iron ore over here, so we just don't have to worry about it. If we want more iron ore in this area, it's just right there. There's just a massive amount of it. And there's not that much else. It's one of the reasons I built. By the way, just so you know, this is exactly where in the other series, New Revergrad is. Nueve Revergrad is really just right here. And one of the reasons I built it there is because there really wasn't that much else going on right in this area that if I built a big, huge city, I would, hate that I just built it on top of oil type thing. So having said all that and not wanting to disrupt him from his fine construction project he's doing for us, all right, well, let's see how does this sound off the rails. Why don't we do it as an experiment and then we'll show how right you were. How's that sound? Does that sound fair enough? Like I said, I'm actually more inclined to get rid of the construction office, to be honest with you. Just because the only reason I'm building this construction office is so that I can level over to here and where I don't particularly destroy them, I actually really don't plan on moving construction vehicles into here. I'm just building this to be able to put a bulldozer and a backhoe in there for leveling purposes, so that I don't have to pay the rubles to level all that stuff in this area, because I can only level to what right around here is as far as I could level from where we're at. So this is really just a leveling construction thing. Like when you think about it, yeah, they could help us with building the farm itself, but really you're always better off with your materials as close to your construction as you can get them. And whether your construction office is here or over here, it's not going to make a massive bit of difference if your material, like the materials being close is the big thing. And does that make sense? So we'll knock down the construction office when we're done leveling. How's that sound? And then let's talk about real quick, at least to get started, if not. Good. I'm glad you. Why do you? I mean, if you don't, I know it's a lot to sit there and type all that stuff. Why do you find that it gets so jammed up? I don't. Like I said, I don't normally build them this way, but I think I have in the past. Like, I don't particularly remember them getting jammed up, but that's okay too. Well, like I said, we'll definitely learn. I don't mind, especially in this live stream, that we experiment with stuff. Like, this doesn't have to be, oh, let's do everything the perfect way. This is, let's all learn together and try different things. And that's why I really appreciate your comments earlier about the university, because it's something I wouldn't have thought of, because I don't normally play on a populated map. I wouldn't have thought about them sending people back to the abandoned villages. So that's great to know. And yeah, that's what this Saturday's about, is that we can all kind of share our experiences. It doesn't, this isn't about Rever building the greatest thing you ever saw and everything's going smoothly. Let's experiment and learn. And, I could go back to my regular series and do things my perfect way, and you can go back to your game and do things your perfect way, and hopefully we'll be better off for the Saturday we spent together. All right, so let me go to... Okay. Yeah, like I said, I think we may get away with it this time, because, at this moment, I could see that we might move some trucks in here, but I really only built it just to... And then I built this because I built the gas station just because I pictured a lot of traffic back and forth between our bakery and our thing and here. And I thought, well, it's not that it's that far away from this one, but I certainly don't want them going either all the way back to the farm or going all the way over to here to get fuel when they're coming to here to go to the bakeries and all. So I really have no problems with knocking this construction office back down. Though, if it's just sitting there, it's probably not going to be hurting anybody either. And like you're saying, if there's not many trucks in it and it's not being used, it's not going to cause a traffic jam, I don't think. Oh, look, I got a little mod. I never noticed that. Oh, yeah, that's right. I know they have... Yeah, I do want to talk at some point in my thing about the workshop and the mods. There's a few reasons I hold off. One is my map is getting big and laggy as it is. And it's my general experience in life, not with this game necessarily. The more mods you add, it doesn't usually take away your lagginess when you add a bunch of mods in. We're down to 53,000. I'm not real happy about that. I can't say I'm unhappy, but we need to keep an eye on that. I think I need to put a hiatus on assigning more constructions for the time being, at least. Might even need to go and, if this gets down to like 30 grand, we're going to go cut off our constructions for a while, or at least most of them, except for the top priority ones that aren't using much of materials. Let me do this real quick. So we're going to need a slaughterhouse. and that should definitely have a meat storage attached to it. And that meat storage should probably have a road cargo station attached to it. And I can't really see. So if we were to put it, say, this way, right, and we really only want one of these, I would tend to have it, yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess I would tend to have it closer to this way, just because that's where we'll eventually probably take the meat. Put on the wire frame real quick. And I want to try to do this in a way that we can, like, forever expand. I don't need to be right on top of that road, but if we could forever expand. Yeah, so this guy. Let's get closer, of course. Forever expand the number of. I think I might have built that a little bit closer, or a little bit too close. Let's see. Probably should have built this first. Not sure if we'll get that in or not. No. Darn it. All right, let's. Put this in first. Yeah, for some reason it doesn't want to let me build it quite as close as. All right, we're going to be real. Oh, that's a road thing. Real careful. Look at it. It attached that stupid thing and broke our construction project in half. Darn you. Okay, so now let's go back over to here. Yeah, meat storage. Now we could always do. Yeah, that's sort of. We could always do another one of these if we really. Now, you know what? We're going to do the slaughterhouse. Yeah, I really kind of wish there was a way to turn off those. Yeah, I think we'll do. The meat storage is so tiny. Like there? Is that a good guess? Yeah, so you can't see because the helper's in a way. Still in our way. Let's use the control. Right, so then we can get, just to make sure these all connect because it's really annoying when they don't. So then I think what we should do is have one of the, can we get it from here? I'm pretty sure we can. Food. Yeah, livestock haul. Can we get that to connect in a way? Or should we even bother? Because we could have some trucks come into here, but we could probably have, let's maybe just to get started. Yeah, you know what? We can be a lot further. Let's see if this makes a difference. So if we do, yeah, these things are huge. I kind of remembered that. Yeah, it'd be nice if I could get, I guess maybe we could put it on a little bit of an angle like this, because that would definitely connect. Maybe even a little more of an angle. And then this one could probably go like, no. If we put this one on a little bit of an angle, because if we're a little further away, they're a little friendlier to connecting. I just don't want to mess up the road of that other guy. All right, so there's 3 hauls right there, and then we could do more. We could do another set of these that wasn't attached to a slaughterhouse, and then just have trucks driving from the haul to the thing. Does that make sense? So we would have like, I'm just going to plop this in just for demonstration. Well, we might as well do it at least semi-officially. Yeah, keep that far away from there. Again, we'll probably rearrange this. No, we don't want it that way. Keep that one in this way. Kind of as far down where I think a road would fit in between the two. And it's just, I really wish they could give us more road or building options with arrows. There we go. So there's the potential right off the bat for 8 of those. And I might move that. I don't know. It's maybe not a bad spot. I don't know how many we really want. We don't have to go nuts. I'd like to get maybe there's 3 in because I think 3 livestocks all attached with no trucks needed might not be a bad thing. Let's make sure all of these will attach, which I'm reasonably certain they will. They're good. So we would have that now. Yeah, these guys are all going to need corn. So one of the questions would be, do we put a silo on each one? I forget how much these hold. I think they hold a half decent amount, though I don't know that we would necessarily count on the amount. Yeah, see, they hold 60 tons of crops, and they only need like 10 crops per day. So I kind of remember thinking that in the past, that we really don't need to have... We could have trucks drop off the crops, and it wouldn't be unreasonable, especially just the 3 of them. Now, this just needs the cattle. So the question is, where would we put our silo? And I'm tending to think that we might want it like up in this area. Can we get a road past here? Even if we can't, we could. Yes, to answer my question. Let me read a chat or two here for a second. Hello, Pietro. I decided what I'm going to do with your house in the woods. It'll become like the new gulag. We'll call it Pietro's house, and we're going to put it up in the mountains someplace. When we want to get a lot of people, we'll like maybe right up in here, we'll have like Pietro's house up in the mountains of Italy that we will then send the unwanted to. I'm just kidding with you. How are you doing today, Pietro? Hi, Dragons Gaming. Welcome. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. Oh, and if you make games, I'll try to... Is that the same name as your channel where I could find it easily? I'm assuming on YouTube. I'll check it out. So, let's see. What was I doing just before I started saying hello? I want to, yeah, well, not storages, but that'll work, I think. Grain silo. Yeah, let's see. I kind of want to flatten that out a little bit. Can I? I think we're still within range. Can I go this way? Yeah. Come on, turn red. Turn red. Good enough. All right, so now I'm kind of picturing, this is definitely one of those situations where I want a nice long run in. So we're just going to deliver our corn to these three with like hopefully one truck could just go do a route and just keep them all filled up. A little bit of a waste of fuel. And if we were to... I'm just trying to look if there's any other reason for a road. Oh, yeah, I guess we could have a road. Yeah, I need to make this longer. And I think right there would miss that. Yeah, make it kind of straight. I don't know. I'm not sure if I like that or not, but what I was thinking of is this could be the road over to the farm. I won't go any further, just, or at least not too much further. And then, I don't know if we'd ever build another thing here as far as another slaughterhouse. I mean, the slaughterhouse, I think you really have to have a lot of cattle to fill up one slaughterhouse. And I just don't really see us being that in the cattle business. So I'm just debating. I'd like to have a fairly long run in. So if this went straighter, can I put a... Yeah, that guy's already attached up. No, that one won't work. Let's come over to here. Yeah, that's a little bigger than I was just picturing. I'd like to have a long driveway into this. And I think I definitely would like it turned this way. And the reason is that all these, that's where you get the traffic jams too. Okay, well, we're committed to all those roads, I guess. Or at least semi-committed. So there we go. So we'll have our corn truck can come into here and drop off. Heck, we can even have the trucks come from the farm and drop off to there and then just put their excess in here, whatever we want. And then we need to get this attached up by road. Yep, I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to. Let's let him finish his little construction project there first. But yeah, these two need to be connected, so we'll put a road right there when we can. Now we're down to 47,000. I've been keeping an eyeball up there, so it seems like we're sort of holding our own for the last 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, Dragon's Game, and I don't mind anybody who makes YouTube videos saying they do so. It's fine. I mean, but yeah, if you come in just trying to advertise your channel, I mean, I thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate the thing, but it's all good. I do this for fun, not money. Yes, yeah, there's absolutely people that I could just sit there and watch hour after hour. And I think I've had a few people said they've, I mean, I almost don't know if it's safe for your mental health to watch this entire series from the beginning, but certainly I appreciate it if you do. That's just an awful lot of hours of that. Some people have suggested I restart a new series, but not this. This is the live stream that I do, but if you have watched the regular series, it's quite long. As a matter of fact, someone had made a comment the other day on episode 3. So I went back to look at what they were talking about. And man, if you guys have followed the other series for quite a while, go back and take a look at the beginning of episode 3. It's, it was a long time ago, literally almost. And, in the game, it's been, I think I'm up to 2016. I started in 1960, so it's 66 years. And it's just amazing looking back at how much got done in that period of time. And I was looking at my total hours for the game is like 700 and some. And other than this live stream, I've really played the vast majority, and the testing videos that I've done, tutorial videos, the vast majority of that has been on that map. So I think it's pretty safe to say I have over 600 hours on that map. And, for those of you who are wondering how long it takes me to make a video, well, there's pretty much your answer, right? Because I'm getting close to 150 videos and estimate 600 hours on the map. So there's about 4 hours that I put into the game for each hour. And that's with me making it like videos very regularly, right? Where I don't have to, a lot of my videos, I'm not just sitting there waiting for every interesting thing to happen, as I mentioned in a comment today. So if I were to be more selective and try to make the videos more exciting, you can imagine the number of hours that you would have to put into this game, just playing the game, let alone the editing and that other kind of stuff that you might do to make the actual video. So it takes a while, but I enjoy it. It's not like it's not fun. I'm playing a video game. It's hardly drudgery, and I really do enjoy this game. It's not hard in that respect. So how are we doing here? Okay, good. We're getting there. See, I'm going to talk about our money and our construction. When we have 22 tons of boards, I mean, it's not a lot of money for those boards, but when you add that kind of thing up and we're not making our own prefab panels and we're not making this and we're not making that, I think it just sort of, it all adds up at that point to keep our money going down. So, this guy, he's still doing roads and footpaths, which shouldn't cost us too much because theoretically, we're making our own gravel and whatnot. It's really when we have to get things like those mechanical components, like if we're working on this guy. And I see it's going back up, so I'm not really that nervous. Why is our tech without steel? Oh, that's right. We were going to have a vote, and then nobody really voted, and then I went off into left field over there. By the way, for those of you who don't play baseball, typically speaking, the worst fielder, one of the worst defensive players on a baseball field, because baseball is a game where you play offense, switch sides, and then play defense, like cricket or something like that, if you're British or other countries, as opposed to like soccer where you're just running back and forth the whole game. Like your left fielder will be like your worst fielder, so that's why they say out in left field sometimes. But I think I am going to go ahead and see. Look, I think I want to take my chances. We really don't have much money. Let's just see, how much would it cost to purchase 14 tons? It's going to be 10,000. All right, I'm just going to do this for a minute. We're going to keep a really close eye on what's going on with the money. Like I said, we really can't afford to run out for long because that's how we're getting our power. So I'm hoping, let's just see if we can't get a spurt of construction going. Okay, let's stop that. Well, there was our spurt of construction that we could afford. Hopefully that gets us... No, we still need 76 tons of steel. So I think we're just going to have to... Yeah, we can't afford to do much more construction. But see, the other thing was we just really need to keep our steel going. 6 workers, that's more than we have had sometimes when we've looked. How is our population? Yeah, very stagnant for some reason. We're definitely not getting a huge amount of growth. So this is saying 1,200 workers. So, and our productive age workers, I wish it would stay on productive age workers and not switch back to the one stat we can see. But yeah, we really don't have that many more people. Now, as far as this year's deaths, pretty even with the births. No escapes, which is, we definitely have control over that. Do they make more babies when they're drunk? I wonder. Like, if we gave them alcohol, like I think that's, I know for a fact that there's been more than one baby made in the world because of alcohol. my own life, probably the closest I came to having children was because of alcohol. Without getting into the details on a PG-13 channel. How are you doing? Oh, yeah, you're just searching for stuff to do. Yeah, I think we just have to just go slowly. And how are we doing with this one and the steel over here? We have a little bit I can see, but we're purchasing it. Oh, no, we're not actually purchasing it because it should be purchasing under 14 tons. Yeah, we really just can't. Let's see, how are we doing? Can we get any more? Are we still bound? Nah, we're still doing real well here as far as, we have about the right number of trucks exporting for the amount of fuel that we're making. We could talk about, I think we could improve things if we built all these steel pipes, but they're going to be very expensive as far as steel goes. Yeah, I think we just need to be patient. Keep an eye on our money. Let it go back up a little bit. If it goes back up enough, we can buy more steel. And in the meantime, just try to get done what we can. That's not going to cost us a lot, like like paving roads. And yeah, this guy's working on conveyor. Because he's just held up with steel. Yeah, so he's working on the coal mine, which is good. We can be patient until that'll just get more. If I don't assign many more things, they'll just keep sending a lot of workers over here to this coal mine, which will be good because that'll cut down on our steel costs. Maybe let our money come back up for a few minutes here. This guy's busy paving roads, which really shouldn't be costing us too much at all. As far as money goes, see, we're already up to 29. I think if we just don't assign too much else, I think we should be more or less okay. All right, so there we go. I think we have the basics up here for the slaughterhouse, and then the only thing I would say is maybe I know we really can't we're not going to be able to run all of this and 2 bakeries, but maybe I would just could have planned it out that way. And if this is, I don't think it really matters, but I think I might, now that we already have this road here, what if I just put another little road off this way? And then off of that road, we would put like a bakery with a silo next to it, with the idea that we could, we'll do this. Just want to get an idea of, and this is where, again, we'll keep that a little bit far off the road, but our food factory, not a bakery. Yeah, and I think I would, I hate the fact that these guys like to connect those footpaths. Yeah, that looks pretty straight. Let's go a little further off. Yeah, and then we'd probably put the other one like this if we ever build another one, but that's fine. We'll do and then we should probably think about, that was the factory connection. I definitely want a gravel road, and then this one could come here. And I really don't want that footpath. And I'm going to take let's do the official footpath canceling so we don't delete the wrong thing. And then we're going to need people in all of these, not just for construction. And it's going to be kind of hard to get them in, but we could do a road right around. Just trying to think about where we could, this isn't going to need any people. This is just like a storage. Yeah, so I'd probably want like 2 bus stops, like one to take care of these, because I think if I put one here, they're going to be hard pressed to walk that far away. Might make it, but I think we'd be better off just doing 2 bus stops. Now, I have to say this too. While I think it's a really cool thing, I'm not overly impressed with the inline bus stop. Uh, it's probably fine, but I don't know. Half the time, I still just sort of like these. Now, maybe we can do. Yeah, am I going to mess anything up by that? Oh yeah. Well, we don't really need to get into the storage. Let's go. What I'm wondering is, can we? I don't want to mess up his, but I think we could be able to attach here. This guy needs to get out of here, though. All right, so I don't think there's a particular advantage to attaching the bus this way. I think I'll do. Yeah, so that guy's going to cover at least these facilities. Can I get one in here? Yes, I can. There we go. A little bit goofy there. There, what do you guys think? You know what we're going to want up here too? Maybe next to our gas station. Well, close enough to our... I think we're going to want a fire station. Where does this guy cover to? Not quite to our farm, but he would cover all of this. But I don't really want our farm burning down either. And I think if we put... Yeah, I think I'd go just like right on the other side of this intersection. Hopefully that doesn't mess us up much. You know what I want to do? I want to level. Yeah, just a little bit. So I can get close to this road. Kind of messed up the road, not going straight, but I couldn't really see. So there you go. So we'll have a firehouse up here. That'll extend the coverage, I think, all the way over to our farm, and won't hurt because I think they're going to half cover this town. So, you know, again, it's a cost, but it's not the end of the world to have an extra firehouse here or there. And then who knows? We could build all kinds of things out here. It's within the bounds of the number of people that we could have. I think we'll be, you know, pretty good shape. There. So power. We would like probably to need some power over here. Let's see. How are we doing? 35,000. Good. At least we're not going down. Yeah, and remember a while ago I put in, if you guys had watched the live streams, I put in this extra switch, or whatever they call it. Conjunction. I think conjunction something to do with English. All right, so I just want to think of, I don't want to block this. Remember, we put this in here so we would have the railroad tracks. So I'm just wondering what's the best way to get across here that I'm not going to mess everybody up forever. I mean, I think coming just right up this road probably wouldn't be a bad thing. I don't think I'm going to build that much more right on this road. So if we, let's do high voltage. So if I put a switch, like just right here, and then we put a transformer, oops, got a level here. Oop, that really messed that up. There we go, and then Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to squeak down that way or not. That's all right. We actually haven't spent any money yet, so... yeah, nah, it's not going to like that. Yeah, this is just a little bit too close. I mean, can we come up from here? Nah, see, it's all just a little bit too close. I guess we could go around. Let's just keep it up. We can easily jump over these. And that's right on the conveyor. Right. And then just keep it up out of the way of that. Yep. And then if we start heading over this way. Let's go back to here. Just because I want to delete that. Let's come out of here. Can we go right there? Yes, we can. Good. Worked out pretty well. And so that way in the future, whichever way we want to go, we can have some more power. I almost wish that they just had a transformer that had the switch rate on it, because it would, I think you almost just every time you build a transformer, put in a switch, and then that way you can continue your power on and along as you go. All right, so let's click that, and I think we already brought stuff out to here. Okay, well, usually just put dirt roads to these things. Speaking of which, I hate to create new junctions. Can't really see where the wires are. Yes, if you're at the end of the line, sorry, off the rails. It took me a while to read the comment, just my own not reading it or not noticing it pop up. Like in a situation like this where you're at the end of the road and you want a bunch of buses pulling in and out and they're not going on their way. Otherwise, these seem to be a bit more efficient at being like in and out and in and out, in and out. Like if it's the end of the line, so to speak, and you have a bunch of stuff coming in, these do better. First of all, because you can have two entrances, but also, yeah, when the inline ones definitely work out well if you want to do like a loop around the city where you know they're just going to go in there and then pull straight out. But otherwise, they end up backing up quicker because they don't have the two possibilities. They don't have as many like parkings in there either. So, all right. But anyway, so now the next step is some substations. I don't know what you mean. When you say save, you mean save on fuel, Pietro? Well, fuel is one of the few things we really don't have to worry about saving anything on. And so, yes, I would have no big issues with that. However, the extra money at this point for trolley stops and all that stuff seems a little bit excessive when we only have 30,000. Like, I would far rather get many other things accomplished with our $30,000 than trolleys. Like, and not because trolleys aren't wonderful, but just they're just not that much better than buses as far as the number of people that we have in our town. You know, I know they carry more people and all that kind of thing, but we don't. Heck, if they carried everyone in this house, so I could get everybody in this house on a bus at this point. Get everybody in this house on certain buses too. So it's sort of like we just don't have the need for them at this moment. But definitely we could put some in as time goes on. Absolutely, we will once we're a little bit more flush with some cash and need for trolleys. What was I doing? I was going to do some electrical. Yeah. So as far as this goes, I would think I want to put another road Let's see if we can't zoom in. Are they done this road? Yes, they are. So we can do this planning. The reason I think I can get a... Yeah, see, we would do something like that so that this guy... Yeah, this is going to be where they come in to pick up the meat. So this will be the road cargo station attached to our meat storage, which is attached to our slaughterhouse. And the reason I did that, let me commit to that, is let's see if is this a good place for a substation, especially if I spin it around this way. Can I get that guy right in there? Yes. Nope. Yes. There we go. And what I think I'll do, where is our new power's over there, but what I'm thinking of is, let's see, where does this guy cover? I didn't even really look, assuming that he would get all of this. He really covers everything, doesn't he? Yeah, we don't need another one, but we will need another one over here. So what I'm thinking of doing is, can we get one? Let's just see. Can we get some regular wires through here? Yeah, maybe if I... Yeah, and that's our silo. So why don't we... You know, I'm just going to go back to here. And if we put a switch in like this, all right, that guy can go there. This guy can go here. And this guy could maybe run right down this street. Yeah, let's go back to here. Okay, won't quite make it there. All right, so then this way, I don't think we're going to need that much more power, but I guess we could always run another power line if we ran into issues. But that from here we can run. I don't want to put it in because we'll never see it again. But I could run another substation out to this farm. Good. So that one substation should be covering everything, I hope. We'll find out. If I have to put another one over here, all the more reason to have this switch. We could put another one in this area, another substation. Good. Oh, I should have. Let's commit to that. And I might as well commit to the conveyors, or the conveyor connections. Is there anything else? No. And this road's done, so we can get this in. Now, yeah, I'm thinking, well, let's do it this way anyhow. I'm going to come up to like here. Yeah, there's building in the way. Oh, why won't you? What am I doing wrong? That's weird. Oh, is that the power lines right there? Okay. That's okay. Yeah, you know what, that's... There we go. All right, let's commit to that. And then I'm going to say, don't build that just yet. Leave it hang off the end. Right, I think that's everything we need. We got a firehouse up here. We have power. We have... Well, once we build this construction office, we'll be able to plow and build a field over here. We'll be able to drag our crops into this silo. That will then be sent over to here. Any crops we send to this silo can go to our bakery. We have the potential of sharing this silo with another bakery right over here. If we wanted more bakeries, we have some room. If we wanted to do some of this by train, we could talk about that, though I don't know. I didn't really necessarily put this guy in the greatest place for getting in here with a train, but I'm not sure I'm too worried about that at this moment. We're a little ways off of trains with our 34,000. Same thing with like the trolleys. We have the workings of a coal mine. Oh, look, we have a coal mine. Do we have the connection here? Now we need to get these other connections done. Yes, and we have this. So I'm not going to fire this up with people until we're all ready. But now we have to build these, which, when you look at it, let's see, it would cost us 39,000 for that. And the worst part, no, we already have all the mechanical components on there. So my vote, well, I think we should. What do we have here? Nothing. We need to get a little road out here, don't we? Yeah. Why don't we come from that already junction there? And then, yeah, we already have the mechanical components here, which, how much are mechanical components going for these days? 1,300. Well, no, buy is 1440. So, how much does one of these need? 1.2. That's not too bad. This, yeah, these conveyors, it's not that each one of them's that expensive, but there's 8. I mean, right there, that's 8 times 1,400. It's going to be what, like 10,000? This one's 10, I think. Yeah, so that's 14,000 in mechanical components alone for this conveyor. So, but I think we're okay. I think we can. We already bought those other mechanical components, and I would like to get. We don't really have enough people, but yeah, what are you working on? Village unfinished conveyor. Yeah, you don't have steel, but you do. If I signed you to this, where is it? What is that? Oh, that's our new power lines. Yeah, we're not going to worry about that right now. All right, now when it says conveyors on this guy, does he go? Oh, we took him off of doing conveyors. So let's have him help with carting stuff up to here. All right, you might as well help with carting everything. Yeah, I think we really just need to take a deep breath, and while it doesn't make for the greatest YouTube, maybe we can have a conversation about other things for a little while we just sort of, I think we're just using up every bit of steel. Look, I don't know if you guys remember, but it was not too long ago, we needed 70,000, so now we're down to 12,000. Not 12,000, 12 versus 70 tons. So we are making progress, and we're not running ourselves out of money, even though we don't have much. We're at like a steady state here. I don't want to rock the boat too much and run us out of money. But again, since these things were already mostly purchased, I don't think it's going to cost us too much extra to get them built. And when we slow down on our construction, we should also start seeing some more people making steel. Yeah, look, we got 13, which is as many as we've ever seen. And then if anyone has suggestions, let's take a look at our population. Yeah, we're really just not. Well, we do have 1,207, so this is going up a little bit, though our babies is down a little bit. But then again, I think our children is up a little bit. So let's see. Let's do this year. Nah, I mean, we've definitely have more deaths than births. Yeah, maybe we need to take a better look at the population. Mike, I don't think that the range is governed by with the fire station. No, I think that it's just whatever it is. I don't remember ever seeing one smaller or get bigger like this. I'm pretty sure it's just the size, but it does affect the number of people. So when you go to purchase of truck, like if this is speed level 8, you would have a maximum of 8 firefighters. Like if we bought another one right now, we already have 12 because we have, I think it's this truck we have. Or no, we have this truck has speed 12, so we have 12 firefighters. If we bought another one, we'd have 20 firefighters. And it's a little bit weird, I think, the way it works. It's almost like the rail construction offices in a sense, where as long as you have a truck that goes there, it seems like you get the full power of the firefighters. Though I can't say I ever paid that much attention to how fast they put out the fires. But definitely if you have a lot of big industrial buildings where you might have 2 things and catch on fire at once, it's not bad to have multiple fire trucks and even different fire stations. And I've definitely seen, like in a situation like where you have 2 stations pretty close, you will get 2 trucks there. So I am assuming that like two trucks from 2 separate fire companies will go to the same fire. But this firehouse doesn't seem to send, like if we had 2 trucks here, it won't send 2 trucks to this building. So I'm not real sure about how it does it with the actual manpower at that point. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, people, I don't know. What are we doing wrong? Can't find a church. Can't find a pub. Yeah, I mean, I think the pub is, I mean, they have the high lifespan, but their age is awful high in this particular house. Is that 53? Remember we were looking at the lifespan or the age. Is it just because we got a lot of old people? Because remember, this is the town that we went and drugged people from around the map. So if we go find some people, which is probably just as easy to come here till when we get to see where there's people. Number of buildings. Yeah, see where are we at? Yeah, there's nobody there because I demolished all the buildings. Anybody here? Yeah, 18 in that whole town. Like, how old are the people? Do they get real old in these towns? Yeah, that's going to be annoying trying to find. So, like, in other words, when we drug the people out of this town, were they already older for whatever game mechanic reasons? And by the way, I don't really think this number is that accurate. I mean, it may be, but you'd think if there was 18. Is there any other, like, regular town? I know there's one down. Yeah, I guess we got all of them out of here. I think we've got most of them off of the map. Looking for a town I don't have to search high and low. Yeah, I remember getting them all out of here. It was like one of the last episodes. Yeah, we got them all out of there, I think. I don't think there's too many more around the map. Anyway, if you happen to know, are they older in those cities? It says there's 16 of them here. Zoom in so you guys might have a chance of seeing what I'm doing. There we go. He's 33. Now that we're over here messing around, we might as well take him with us. Oh, there's another one. And another. Yeah, they're 52, 30, and I think they're certainly reproducing, or something's happening with them. If that guy's only 27, we've been playing the map long enough that they would have gotten older than 27, I think. I don't know. Well, I guess one of the things that happens is that we're not moving over any children, I would assume. So maybe it's the fact that we're just dumping, like we just dumped a 52-year-old in there. That's going to certainly raise the age of that building. And I don't know, do 52-year-olds even reproduce in the game? There's 5 more people for our town. Good, look, we're up to 49,000. Are we building this? Worker or mechanism? Yeah, it seems like that's just going to be a problem. And eventually we need enough money to buy a bus. I guess really 2 buses. We can limit the number of people. Quality source, 55%. It's not a bad coal mine. Not the best, but certainly worth building. Yeah, we didn't build any more houses, so it's not like... I guess some of the workers are going here. When we calm down on our construction, I think we'll be a little bit better off. So we should really be seeing... Yeah, 17. So we're seeing as many people over here as ever. As far as the steel we are producing goes. How's it look like... Yeah, well, they're just not real... 17's not a massive number. Goes to show you can be happy with anything in life. Yeah, we have steel over here. And these guys aren't assigned to anything. And given our money situation, I'm not overly upset by that. We can keep plugging away with building the roads out this way. Probably want to do this construction office. What's this guy doing? Yeah, I definitely want to get that university done too, because why not? That is sort of, I would have to agree with that priority. We got the hospital, which certainly isn't going to hurt us. Can everybody get to, oh, you know what? We could use an ambulance. Does anybody have any vote or have done any study on the ambulances as to why I would pay any more than the absolute minimum for an ambulance in a town? I guess... You know, like, why wouldn't I just buy the cheapest one here that goes 90 and carries 1 passenger? It doesn't seem like... It just doesn't seem like, other than the look of the thing, there's much difference, really. Right. I'll pause on our purchasing of an ambulance, but we definitely want to do that. And we do have an ambulance in the other one, right? Let's go check that while I'm waiting for the responses, if any. Yeah, I mean, we have an ambulance over here, and we have a treated patient, which is wonderful. So that has, theoretically, you would think that that has to be saving lives, or extending their lives at the very least. $202. You mean the 202? Yep, it is. What, $18 cheaper than the 1203. There we go. Sold. Thank you for the answer, Off the Rails. Good. So now we'll have an ambulance there. It looks like a little station wagon ambulance. Scoop and go. I was a volunteer firefighter, and not that I was old enough to remember ambulance station wagons, but some of the older firefighters that I knew were, and I used to, you know, basically say, because I asked them, like, well, you know, the modern ambulances we have here, at least in the United States, are, you know, like box trucks, really. They're kind of big, and they have all the medical equipment. I said, well, what did you do back then? He said, you really just scooped and went, you know, scoop and go. You know, I mean, somebody could get in the back with the person, but you really didn't have all the much medical equipment on the thing anyway. The idea was just, you know, get them to the hospital ASAP, and that was just the rule of thumb. They weren't going to try to do too much to you on the way. So that will be our scoop and go with this hospital over here. Now, I'm glad to see too, by the way, that we are getting some doctors. That is a good sign. Just that they can reach, Yeah, with their walking paths here. It would have been a little bit of a concern that they were far away. Yeah, they are the Ghostbusters car. Yeah, remember Ghostbusters? I didn't watch the new one. I don't know. It's not my cup of tea, as they say. But then again, I'm grown up now. To me, Ghostbusters was something you watched. But I guess I'd still probably enjoy it. It was a decent movie, the original one at least. And like I said, I never saw the other one. So I can't make much comment on it. But I'm not, as a typical rule of thumb, I can't say if Ghostbusters, the original, came out tomorrow for the first time ever, I'm not so sure that it would be a movie that would be high up my list to see. Though that's not maybe true, because the actors that were in it were pretty famous and popular for their day. It wasn't like they were B-rate actors and comedians going in that. Yeah, I was eyeing that up myself. I wasn't going to worry about it too much until I saw what was going on with that. But you're absolutely right. Let's just. I wanted to see what effect the university had on them. Yeah, so let's just knock that down a lot. Yeah, I mean, we really never probably need more than 5 treated patients. Yeah, that's just to make sure we sort of max out our professors. And then now that we have the university going, and we'll keep the school, I think, as it is, just for the sake of the like, I think we could use at some point here as we grow more and more population. I don't think it's bad to have extra teachers going over there. There we go. Good. Oh, you know what? Didn't we do one of these researches already? I don't think I would do it over here. Maybe we should do, just to get it out of the way. Yeah, let's do our advanced engineering research. Probably should have done chemicals first, but it doesn't really take us that long. Anyhow. Yeah, taking a look at our population. Yeah, we're just as... Yeah, the babies is definitely up a little bit. It was at 490. It's at 510. And I think it's as important as anything else to have these productive age workers, because I assume they're going to be the ones that are going to give us more babies. So even though this number may be going down, it's not really going down. It's just sort of stagnating. Though it is down from what it was before. So let's look at this year. Yeah, I mean, we're at 326. We started out at 364 total. Let's just see. See, that number has certainly not gone down. It's a little hard to read, but babies, yeah, sort of follows this to some degree. Children, no plus 21s, which I guess is good because I think they symbolize that you're stagnating your population for other reasons. Yeah, so if we get this guy to fill up with steel over here, it's just going to take a while. What time is it? 4:20 or 4:10? I have no idea. That 2 hours went pretty quick. All right, so we have all that designed, and I don't really want to start building it until we get this. And I'm not even sure that we want to build it right away, or do we want to... Yeah, we really need to get this built so I can level out here, get the farm going. Or do we just focus on getting our iron going? Like, let's get one project done at a time type thinking. This will be rather costly in the amount of steel that we get. And getting this done isn't really going to ramp up our steel production all that much. It's just going to cut down on the cost, which isn't a bad thing. But it's not necessarily going to get us more steel. Look at them. They're like a bunch of vultures. Every time somebody comes in with a truckload of steel, they empty it out like a heartbeat later. That's all right. But we're done this. This was a pretty big steel user in and of itself. So I'm okay with the fact that we now have this university done, that was probably, like these buildings where they need steel, they don't need nearly as much as that university did. We could build 10 of these for the one university type thing. So we should calm down a little bit on our steel usage. Yep, same here. I was a teenager for the majority of the 80s. Yeah, and I think, well, the original Ghostbusters, that was like almost the early 80s, wasn't it? Mid to early 80s? They did make some good movies back then as far as comedies went. I think it was that fact that the Saturday Night Live cast kind of became actors, and you just had a decent crop of comedic actors that were around at that time, a lot of whom were associated with the original Saturday Night Live. I don't know if it was the original, but that crew of the late 70s Saturday Night Live guys. I mean, I remember when, I don't know how Saturday Night Live is now. I don't watch a huge amount of TV, but back in those days, I mean, people really stayed up to watch Saturday Night Live. Quite a few people did. And I guess entertainment was different back then too, because you didn't have, you just had especially, I forget when we got cable TV, but I think it was like 1985 or something like that before we had cable. So back then it was just, for us, we had like the three main networks here in America, and then we had a couple UHF channels, which were more local channels. And there was like 2 or 3 of those, and that was it. So you had like 6 channels on the TV, well, plus PBS. So you had like 7 channels on the TV. And if they weren't playing something that you wanted to watch, that was, and people used to get the TV guide, and they would plan out like what like you had a guide that had like when everything was coming on in your area, and people would like highlight stuff. And I remember, like looking through it on Saturday because it would come in the early Sunday paper kind of thing. Like you got the advertising part of the Sunday paper on Saturday, and we would look through the TV guide and start, I don't want to say arguing is the wrong word, but like start jockeying for who was going to watch the one TV we had in the house. Like if there was 2 people had the same show on or different shows that they each wanted to watch, we only had one TV. So, well, my show comes on at 8 on Monday. What do you mean? I want to watch it. Yeah, now and then after a while we got a color TV, and the old black and white TV went up in I think it was in my sister's bedroom, because she was the only daughter, so she had a little more room in her bedroom, and we would, if most of the family didn't want to watch what you wanted to watch, you could go up and watch the old black and white TV, which was different. Now I know people have 5 TVs in their house or more. So anyway, how is our... you know what? We really found a nice balance. I'm sure something will throw it off eventually, but good. We're back up to 50 grand. So it's, we're not pushing the Rockefellers kind of wealth here. We're certainly not falling behind, and we've deliberately dampened down our construction by not assigning this guy to anything. But we're also past building this university, which was a pretty big expense. Now this will be a pretty big expense on Steel 74, so I kind of want to let it build up a little bit, just so that we don't end up purchasing too much. Now we don't have this on purchase, but we'll cut through that. What does steel cost these days? $850 already. So it's twice as much as it was when we first started out, and we're coming up on 10 years on the map. So does it double every 10 years? It wouldn't surprise me if it did. And so you're talking, $850. This guy needs how much? 200 tons of steel. So yeah, we really just need to let our steel build up. There's just no way this alone would be what, 160,000 or 160,000, I think. Yeah, point 0.8. Yeah. And then another 50,000, not 50, another 40,000. Yeah, so we're talking a lot of money for these. You know, I'm going to do the math because I don't know why I'm having. I forget. There was one guy I used to watch his YouTube videos would say, "Don't math when, don't math when recording." All right, 850 times 200. I don't know why I can't do that much math. Yeah, 170,000. And then plus another 70,000 is going to be not 70,000. Another 70 tons is probably going to be about 60. So you're talking, if you had to buy the steel, it would be 230,000, 220,000. So we definitely need to wait for this steel to get made. There we go. We're done another building. Maybe that's, a little bit of an experiment. If we have them spread out more, do they grow faster? Like weeds. Like if we take, let's see which one has the most. That's only 48. Now the only other thing is it makes them unhappy when you move them around. Yeah, they're all pretty even, aren't they? Does anybody move in here? No, I don't think they will unless... Let's just put a couple in here. Like maybe they do grow like weeds, where if you spread them around, they'll populate the area faster. Or do you pack them all together and that makes them grow faster? I don't know. I guess it could go either way. If anybody has any ideas on how to make our population grow, we got hospital. Oh, it's not staffed, but why is that? Well, we should be making students or making educated. Yeah, we really don't have too many over here, do we? And given the fact that I think we probably have enough people coming here, why don't we see? Does any of these have? Yeah, look, they have they have 88 in here. 161. Let's see. Let's just grab some educated people, just for the sake of our university, if nothing else. Are any of these? They're not maxed. Just make sure none of these houses are maxed out at all. No. This one's got 109. Maybe we'll take a few out of there. I'm thinking let's steal a few people out of here, especially the educated ones, and move them in kind of close to this, which overall should help. Right? And then maybe we'll just take a few out of this one. Yeah, because to be honest, I think I'd almost rather produce steel a little more. And I don't think we changed the balance of the world here that greatly, but we have enough people in here that we're running out of oil. And if we took a few people out and had less people and had a backup of oil, I think we'd be better off, because if nothing else, that would give us the steel to get this purchased. And once we get this purchased, I think we'll really be, well, if nothing else, we'll be maxing out the oil rigs that we have, right? So that we're not counting on trucks, which is probably not the most efficient way of doing that. And I think that will help us. Let me read some of the chats here. Yeah, off the rails. I tend to agree with you both on the good old days of one TV in the house, and we were pretty diplomatic, but everybody sort of had their shows, I guess, and I mean, we just worked it out, just like any other situation. You kind of knew who wanted to watch what week to week and day to day. So it usually wasn't too big a deal. And I mean, obviously the parents kind of set down, but they weren't autocratic about it. They were relatively respectful of everyone's wishes as far as what we watched or didn't watch. And their attitude was always, well, go read a book if you don't want to watch what other people want to watch. Like something else, you can go do your homework or whatever it was. But anyway, back to the game. Yeah, yeah, well, we'll try to spread them out as much as is reasonable as we get them new. I certainly don't see any reason why they wouldn't grow better if they had more room. But then again, I don't know. Do they just we've had this question before. Are they asexual or do they actually need a partner? Like there's no sense of, if you look at the people, and it's kind of hard to do when the game's time is moving forward, but when you look at them and you look at their children, it's definitely not true that you'll see two parents with the same children all the time in this building. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but like if we were to stop time where they wouldn't move around so much, and you say like, okay, let me find 3 other people with children with these names, and you go looking, you won't necessarily find it. So it's almost like they reproduce on their own, or they certainly don't have married couples in that normal respect that you might expect in real life. So I asked that because you would think, well, if you need couples, then you might be better off keeping them close together and then just moving out the excess before you get excess. But, if these 18 are just going to, like self-combust into another person, asexually reproduce. See, now this guy doesn't have any children, and look, all these people are like 60. There's 43, and they have children. So there's definitely the oldest people don't seem to have any children here. I know I can open this up, right? Like this one has a child, 43. Yeah, see, these are children at home, and it's the older people. Well, this one does at 50, but that's the youngest, or that's the oldest person we saw so far that has children is 50. So yeah, I'm having a feeling that once they do get past the reproductive age. Now, again, children at home doesn't mean they have kids up until 50, but maybe they only have kids for a certain period of time, which, let's do this year again, which would explain, this year's January. Okay, look, we went through 10 years. Woohoo. Very good. Let's do last year then. Yeah, see, we're just dead stagnant on the total number, but then if we look at this, I would have to say that went up a hair. There's no way for me to go down, and I know it did because I think we were below 1,200 at one point, not too long ago. And our babies are doing as well as ever, and our children haven't changed too much recently. So I'm thinking we are growing. We're just not doing it at some massive rate. Now let's see. Let's try to remember. It'll be a little bit hard, but let's see if we do better. If you look at our births and deaths down here, we're 37 different. So we had 37 more deaths at 1,700 than we did births. So let's hope that we had an older population because we moved a lot of people from around the map. And as time goes on, we'll get into more of a steady state of babies. I'm hoping we just had like an artificially inflated population because we have drugged so many people from around the map that it's not a standard population that you would see if you grew it from the beginning. That's my hope. Because I really honestly don't know what more to do to get them to make babies any quicker, other than alcohol, which is just purely a real life speculation that you go to the pub and get drunk and you're more likely to make a baby. I mean, real life, I think that's fairly true for some people anyway. So it'd be, but I don't know that that actually works that way. And then the other thing to say is I think we do have a pub over here. So yeah, it is. We do have a functioning pub over here, which is something to kind of take a look at. That we really, yeah, see, there's not enough of them going there that it's, I mean, the average lifespan's 88.6 here. 86. I'm not sure why this one would be lower, but look, they do have higher alcohol here than that other house did. Now, again, if it's, you would think the lifespan is the most critical thing. I don't know that that's a good thing that they have it. We don't need the alcohol for added happiness. I mean, these guys are absolutely maxed out on happiness compared to the other ones. Yeah, see, no alcohol here, 89 lifespan. Or not no alcohol, but like the ones that have no alcohol have the higher lifespan. And I'm not sure that there's any benefit to that little tiny extra bit of happiness that you may be getting because they're drinking a lot more. Matter of fact, it seems to be my experience that this lifespan makes a bigger deal, which drops dramatically with alcoholism. So the people in that house, wherever it was, yeah, so they're down to 87, and they have, for some reason, they're using a lot more alcohol because they couldn't participate in any sport. There's no school. Children couldn't go to school. Yeah, they're getting kind of far away from the school there, aren't they? Can they do it? Yeah, and see, they're counting on busing to get their children to school, but we don't have any uneducated. Well, you got to take this number with a grain of salt. I wish they would give us the number of adults that are uneducated. Because it would be far more. So we have any adults in here? No, none of them are uneducated, so I'm not quite sure why they're complaining. And see, look, it's probably just a busing thing. The buses aren't perfect. Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to the growth, I mean, they seem to have a mechanic around it. So it's, but how does it decide that this person is going to have, a person that has a kid, that, like, how does it decide that this person is going to have a kid? Do they just all have kids eventually? Like, will they all have 3 kids if their needs are met, kind of, basics are met? And then the big thing comes down to the lifespan, where if the lifespan gets less, they die younger and you lose those productive years. I mean, I don't know, do they retire? We don't have plus 65 or anything as a stat here. So is it a actual, I don't know that it's a multiplication of like the productive age workers. It seems to be based because like none of the older ones have kids, so there has to be no, or is that just because that's where they assign them after the fact? I don't know. I think you get the idea there, right? Like this 27-year-old doesn't have any kids yet. Will they pop out another one when they hit a certain age? As a matter of fact, yeah, you don't see a lot of, just looking. Yeah, it seems to be people of a certain age have kids. There you go, 28-year-old with 3 kids. Man, they were popping them out compared to most people. So why does that 28-year-old have so many? I haven't noticed any that have more than 3. I don't know. At least our working age population has not gone down. I guess that's the big thing, but we could really use it going up more than it is. But maybe that's, like I said, my best speculation is that it's because we pulled people from around the map and there's something different about them, because I think we probably pulled a lot of 50-year-olds in, say, where when you had a normal population growth, you wouldn't, you're getting new babies who will have more kids. And then if you brought in people who are 50 or 60, they don't have kids, and they don't, your population curve, in a sense, of growth just is stunted in a sense because a fair number of them are older people. who never had kids for you. And then they die off and make your dying numbers look worse without having ever produced children in their life. There we go. So we're up to 74. I mean, I'm getting to the point where, oh, look, we're almost done this. Yeah, let's let them finish this. How does that sound? And then we could talk about assigning them something else. What are these guys actually assigned to? Just those conveyors. And this building would take a lot of manpower. It'll take some steel. But I would like to sort of see us have a certain amount of steel anyway in storage. Maybe just a little bit. How are we doing? We brought a few more people over here. 8. Okay. Yeah, and this is where this... Is it the same truck? Yeah, it seems like... For whatever reason, I was wondering if when we restarted the map, when we looked last time, it was this village truck that seemed to always get the priority towards filling up. And you can tell that's happened again because how did this guy get to 4.6? Like he didn't continue to top this one up. Every time this guy pulls up, he gets the priority. Is it because he's closer? Like in other words, he's only driving to here, so for some reason he gets the priority. But it's definitely... It wasn't something that just happened because of, or that didn't, I mean, it stayed between the restarts, like from when I saved it and then reloaded, that this guy seems to always be getting the priority. Now, it's only been twice, so maybe if we remember to look next time, we'll know, yeah, no doubt, this guy always gets the priority, which is fine with me. I would really rather him get the priority and bring it over to here. And then we'll let that other one fill up with the, quote, excess steel. But I do wonder, where are we even... Well, so this guy's assigned to bring stuff to a lot of places. Yeah, but he doesn't have sources without steel. Oh, he does have an open haul. Oh, and he's bringing stuff to wires and everything else, isn't he? Yeah, I think I want to cut that off. Just for the sake of control. Right? Because he's... I want to get rid of... all of these. Yeah, anything but that footpath. Oh, wait. Okay, that's fine. No. Do we have wires selected? No. Iron plant. Yeah, don't bring stuff to there just yet. Let me... Yeah, this is footpath, iron mine. Now, why are you trying to do the iron? Oh, buildings. Yeah, you know what? Don't bring anything to buildings. Footpath, prefab, footpath, bus platform. There you go. Yeah, just do roads for now. Escape a couple times. Yeah, there you go. Because you know what? We're bringing... No, you wouldn't have been bringing anything to here anyway, steel-wise, but you would have been bringing stuff potentially to here. Not sure why you weren't. Yeah, there's that bus stop. Yeah, let's just focus in on what we want to get done first, just with our... And this is... Even as I got more and more involved in the regular series with many different construction crews and the ability to make steel much more, when you guys see me assigning everything, it's for this kind of reason. When I think I first started the game, it's like kind of how I learned to do it. If you know, you kind of always, well, not always, but often you tend to fall back on what you know. And when it comes to trying to get things prioritized and done, the best way to do it, in a sense, is to just assign this guy to exactly what you want him to work on. Now, this guy, yeah, you know what? I want to take him off of buildings, too. Prefab, footpath, meat storage, transformer, road, conveyor. Yeah, no conveyors. Yeah, do roads. I'm fine with roads because they're not going to cost us that much, and it's something for you guys to be doing. Yeah, missing a bus. I'm okay with that. Yeah, there's probably like little short roads that maybe we can have this guy help with while we're waiting for steel. All right. Yeah, because those you should be able to do yourself. Like they'll need a mechanism, right? Yeah, they need a mechanism, so you should have a mechanism. Yeah. Well, we got plenty. We don't have all the vehicles in there, so they're running around doing something. Oh, look, there's exactly the reason we built this thing. I think. Yeah, so your construction office. What are your... Oh, come on back here. Yeah, your construction office. Yeah, you guys are all construction office. Vehicles, no, we don't. Heading here, yep, there goes. Storage. Nope. Yeah, they keep moving around. Yeah, there, I think it's, I forget whether it was 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, I really wish you guys would stop moving around on my little list here. Did I get them all open? Moving around again. Okay. All right, let's see. Yeah, these construction. I think most of these are all construction. So what I want to do is I want to take these two. Let's take this guy here. Unload. And I guess I'll put you on gravel. Wait. Delete that. And then this guy. Delete that. See, now I can have these guys wait so that when, and then we can even add more trucks to it and not worry about the trucks coming in here for construction getting jammed up if these other guys are coming in here. Now, how are we doing? Yeah, we're running low. So I think what I'll do, and I don't want to mess with that other construction office too much. Let's take, just for now, we can always move them back in here. Are you guys, come back here. Yeah. Oh, this is a construction office. Okay, yeah, we need to move you over to the depot first. All right, let's wait for them to get to the depot. So then we'll set them, so we'll have 4 trucks coming over here to drop off gravel, so don't, because we're getting pretty low. Especially since we just set all those guys to work on the extra roads and footpaths and everything else, which will be good, get those done, and it won't cost us that much money. We're letting our money build up. At some point here, well, we're going to need like mechanical components, which will be awful expensive to build these other things, so it just won't be bad to have the extra bucks in pocket, I think, at that point. Oh, there they are. All right, get on your way. Get on your way. All right, good. So I don't know if that's really enough, but at least we'll have 2 more. I don't know if we just had a little bit of a surge because of what I did there. How are we here? Well, we got workers. Good. Yep. Yeah, we're cutting through some gravel. Definitely won't hurt to have the extra trucks bringing it back and forth. Are we still working on this, or yeah, no steel. Steel is just, it's just a problem. Now the other thing I could probably do, this guy's going over there. Why don't we do this? Just for the sake of, I'm going to put this guy over here. We can always set him back on his path. But rather than even bring steel over here, I don't really plan on doing any of this construction in the next 20 minutes that we have left. And I just as soon every bit of steel we have start getting piled up here so that we can keep track of it a little more easily. But there we go. Look, we brought out a lot of gravel. We're spreading it out and around. Very good. Yeah, we'll get this road built with the help of a construction office. There's a bus right there. Yeah, these little tiny ones can't just do them. Does this one need a mechanism? Yeah, it's even the slightly bigger roads. See, this one doesn't get a mechanism. It has to have people coming out to help. An escape? Who? Oh, we got 2 escapes. Terrible. Why are they escaping? You missed an escape, Foxy Cool. And I'm trying to make babies. It's just not working out very well. So usually the attempt, whether it works out well, is usually not that painful. At least not for me. Anyway, we're going to keep this PG-13, I promise. Oh, I don't know if you guys have the rating system or know what I'm talking about, but just in case, in America, it's one of our movie ratings, if you haven't heard of that, where, parental guidance is PG, and then PG-13 means, well, it's not an adult movie, but you might have a little cussing or something, that's little violence and stuff like that, but nothing too extreme. And I'd appreciate you guys not cussing too much, and you don't. I mean, you guys are a great crew of YouTube viewers. Couldn't ask for better. Don't even worry about that stuff, to be honest. I'd be surprised if one of you did start cussing. Yeah, we were studying the baby technology. Was this a different... Oh, no, it's just spun around. I was wondering if it's a different kind of building. It's not. It's the same, just they look different from this side. Yeah, so now we only have 15 ABC people. I don't know. I forget. Or no, you know what? We have one more. We had 18 people total here. And how are we doing on the educated? Are we getting them in? Now, as we get closer to wrapping up, we still have some time. Do you guys have any other questions or things you'd like to see? I know there's often a question. Well, why don't we, at some point very shortly here? Yeah, look, we're definitely getting more professors. We're struggling a little bit with staff. Now, I don't think they could be highly educated. I don't think they have to be low educated people to be staff, do they? We got doctors and an ambulance. Yeah, this is. Yeah, we had 2 escapes this month, no less. But look at that. We had 261 births so far this year compared to 227 deaths. So I'm definitely hoping that there was some truth to moving the population into here just threw off what we would normally expect, because if they were dying slightly different rate than you would in a normal full life cycle, then our 10%, we could have been growing 10%, but we were just dying off 10% quicker because of the extra older people we brought in. Does that make sense? So hopefully, yeah, let's just hope that it goes well. So let's go take a look at our economy here. Oxycol, we really don't have many people left from the other towns. We've moved the vast majority of them in to our cities. There might be maybe 100 people. I don't know. It's a little hard to tell, even if we I don't know that I really believe this is to be as accurate as it probably should be. But we have 500 people over in this area, 500 plus. And then if we come here, we have 1,700. So that's like, what? And that was, let's call it like 2,300, I'm sorry, 2,250. And if you come here and look at the map, there's 2,300. So there's really not that many more people, and we're not allowed to buy people in. So that's been one of our rules, part of the challenge, right? To keep it harder. Now at this point, it seems to be just slowing us down. And then the truth of the matter is, buying those people is not necessarily cheap. We really don't have that money to buy that many people at this point anyway. Not that it might not be a good idea, just even if it wasn't against our own self-imposed rule, it's sort of, we just don't have much money to do much of anything on top of not having that many people. Well, I mean, the map is running dry, but at the same time, other than what I would call impatience, there's no real need to panic. I mean, I think we're doing okay. This number seems to be going up. I would definitely want to give it myself a little bit more time, because we did bring in a lot of people in the last couple episodes, and if they're dying off slowly but surely, it's going to make you look like you're stagnating, but you're really not, because you are growing. You just saw more deaths, so it looks like your population is stagnating because you brought people from around the map, but it's not really true, because you're just not reproducing and making more adults as fast as you might be losing them, in a sense. And that I'm hoping that by the end of the next live stream, we'll start seeing that population go up in a little bit more of like what we're all expecting. Because I think that's the other thing, is we collectively all know how to play this game really well. And I don't disagree one bit with Dennis's statement and off the rails statement that you should grow at about 10% clip. And we just haven't been seeing that. And I'm just thinking there's something else happening, and that's the only thing I can think of that's truly different at that point from what you might expect, like at other times in my experience as well. So anyway, let's take a look at our finances let's just take a look at last month. So what did we export? No surprise there. Bitumen, oil, much less oil, to the point where, you know what, we're running out of oil over here, aren't we? We really probably should search for the last of the oil. Yeah, I think we should, because we've consistently had good people. I think if there's anything, we've been missing oil. See, this is why we check our economy. So this one's going to the oil refinery. I think I'll just leave these over here so I don't end up, or if I click on the same one, I know I did. Where are you going? Oil refinery. Eventually we might, let's do it like this way so we can see if one of them, maybe we'll notice if it tries to cut straight out. Yeah, see, there's Customs House. So let's plan on taking that guy off of his route. Oil refinery. Oil refinery. Where are you going? Come back here. Yeah, oil refinery. I think I already clicked on that one. Oil refinery. Customs House, good. Caught another one. Probably would have been a smarter way to do it here. Good. I think I got them all anyway. Well, maybe not, because if they're halfway, yeah, Customs House. Customs House. Close all these. And then, so you're going to go from the oil rig, yeah, I guess into here. Send him off to the oil refinery right away. Yeah, so we won't make any money off of oil directly, but that's fine. That's probably a good thing. We'll see if we can't make sure we have enough oil. Good. So that guy, yep, load, unload. I'm going to check for load, unload this time. I think I did that one right. Yeah, let's. Good. So they should just be running back and forth, and eventually we can hopefully have some steel. We'll get these pipes built, and then we should have just upped the amount of oil coming in, which I think is the thing right now that's keeping us low. Yeah, see, we're running out of oil right there, where if we get these extra trucks, I'm hoping that that is the difference. Now, the other thing that's going to happen here is that this is going to be even busier than before, so hopefully we don't get too much of a traffic jam there, adding all these trucks. Yeah, see, missing oil again. We got plenty of people. You know, yeah, there's definitely, I think that was the right thing to do. And that's why we look at our economy from time to time. And we can, you know, I like to look at last month what we did just because it's steady and it gives you the idea of the whole month. But then if we were to switch over to this month, depending on, you know, we could, depending on exactly how it's working out, but you can get an idea of what's gone up real recently. So we might wait till the beginning of next month. But let's see, what did we import? Yeah, see, this imports are costing us an awful lot. And it's, I think, yeah, power. So coal, yeah, look at that. Coal at 20,000. So good call to get that coal going ASAP. I think that was certainly your guys' vote. I know Dennis voted on that last time, and other people probably did too. I didn't hear any objections for sure. So what that's saying is, if we want to improve this, oh, look, these are done. So yeah, I think we should, for better or for worse, let's go buy 2 buses. Yeah, these both need about the same number. Oh no, this only needs 15 workers. So yeah, we'll limit the bus that goes here greatly, but let's just put like 1 bus on the coal for now, since we just don't have that many people. And didn't we take a bus off of somewhere? Yes. What does this guy hold? 8. I think I'll just get something a little bit bigger than 8. Just because I only plan on buying 1. But we go, yeah, this is sort of a problem. Let's hit buses. Where you go from like 6 to 20 or 30. 52. 40, 32. This one's pretty cheap. Yeah, this one seems, let's do a little orange bus. And that'll go to our ore processing. And I don't think they're not going to, we don't have to really limit the number. They're not going to take any more than they need, I don't think. Keep an eye on that. And then this one, I think it's worth the extra money for, yeah, I think we're going to get the biggest one here, even though I don't think it's really, yeah, let me click here, and here it's just as easy. And I don't know which one was which. This is the big bus. Okay, so let's do this one first. Even though, yeah, even though I don't, yeah, you might as well start. You're gonna go. I mean, anything they contribute is better than nothing, right? Sort of the way I'm looking at this. Oh, I always have a plan, Dennis. If nothing else, it's not necessarily always a good plan. and I'm a firm believer in that, the minute after the war starts, your entire plan's going to fall apart on you, but that's where you have to, it still doesn't hurt to plan, right? Because if nothing else, you can react quicker because by planning, you've studied things in a more in-depth way, thought through possibilities of what might happen. And even if something completely unexpected happens to you, you still have a plan, right? And if your plan does work out, all the better. So now it's absolutely my plan to slowly kind of ramp this up with people. And then the next stage is get rid of those trucks altogether, right? And replace them with pipes. But then by the time we're there, we'll have even more people here. And we'll also go over to having this as our export. And we may even go, we probably even could do this. I don't mind the idea of like having the surplus come out of here. And then like we'll only export what gets into this tank. This tank will fill up with, let's say, gasoline. Doesn't matter which one. But I think maybe we should do, we have time here. Not too much, but let's... So in other words, this is going to fill up with gas. Now, the only other thing is there oil up here? Sorry, let me just distract myself from my thought. But, this one would always be full of fuel, theoretically, for domestic use, for our own gas stations. And we'd only export stuff when we had this tank full. So that way we never theoretically would run out. Let me just take a look real quick. I don't really think it's worth it. I mean, we'd be better off if we really wanted to. We could put one down here. Or, we might be better off. I don't think we'd put one. Yeah, we could definitely put one here. Wouldn't be great, but I don't think we would put one right where this tank is. So, having said that, let me come back over to the road tool. And let's just wireframe it a little bit. I think I went down too far there. All right. Now, the only thing about doing this is it's a little bit, we'd have to come with a road around this way. So I'll make this a little wider than I think we need it. So we can get a road into here. Now, does anybody have any opposition to us picking up oil directly from these tanks as opposed to using an official loading and unloading, which is really... I don't know, I think it looks better, but it's certainly not required by the game mechanics. It's not like the oil loading, unloading. Do we have one around here? No. It's not like that oil loading and unloading really has that much of a benefit. So let's see, roads. Yeah, this guy comes off the back anyhow. So let's make sure. Yeah, we can get a road behind there. Attach him up. Let's go. Oops. Wrong one. Let's go to tanks. So what we want is, let's make sure this tank has its pipes pointing the right way. So it would have to come out this way. Unless we want to spin this around. Yeah, you know what? I kind of do. Since it's not going to really hurt us at all. Yeah, let's get rid of that. And yeah, so I think this works better. Now, if we're going to move this, why don't we bring... No. That's not really what I wanted to do. I had a spastic finger movement, I guess. Yeah, see, this guy can come out here. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe bringing the road around the other way. But we do want to at least get like a dirt road up here. And then, yeah, we want a pumping station. Try to keep it close to this one. Hopefully that's legit. Let's make sure we can. 1, 2. Yeah, I've never had a problem with them fitting under there once you got the road built. So yeah, and I guess we would do like that. All right, so now we could get trucks to come in around the back here. I know that's not the most efficient. Nope, stop that. Here we go. And then, no, let's not do that. All right, I'm surprised that went from red to green like it did, but yeah, trucks would very regularly come in here. Not so much here. Let's even turn this guy this way. So that's just the pumping station if a fire truck ever needs to get in there. Trucks would come in here very regularly. And then the other thing I would say is we're really not using this at all. Oops. Right now. So I think we'd be far better off getting this guy paved when there's nobody using it. Then there we go. Then the only other... No, I think we're definitely going to be close enough with this substation as far as getting power to each of these. And then one more little road. Yeah, you know what? I usually try to break up my little road projects, but for the sake of the fact that we're doing this at the very end and I'm liable to forget to put that road in, might as well just do it now. And I'll commit to that. And let's just delete this. There we go. There, so we'll have a nice little pickup. Oh, we didn't put one more pipe. Yeah, we'll just go up 2. And might as well leave it up in the air a little bit. All right, so we'll have to remember to pick one of these to be oil, one of these to be, probably put the bitumen. I don't know, it doesn't matter. Do we want the gas trucks? I guess we will have more gas trucks in theory. That would be a little bit less of a trip around. I don't like that it's going around. Like they'll have to come all the way around to here, but I don't think it's that big a deal. And then the trucks that are going to go to export will just come up to here. So this will be for like the domestic trucks to fill up, and this will be for that. I think I already said that, so I won't say it too many more times. There, nice little, only export the stuff we don't need kind of system. Nice and neat. Off the rails, thank you. I'm sorry, I'm just catching up. Or bye, Dennis, too, and bye, Fox Gaming. Definitely getting time to go. All right, anyway. Yeah, so I will get to wrapping up. Let's go see how we're doing with our little coal before we wrap up. Are we getting any? Oh, yeah. No workers. I can live with that. Oh, look, we got all kinds of coal in here. So we just stole all the workers from our steel mill, I think. Yeah, we got 15 workers coming in. Yeah, well, we're making it and we're not paying for coal. So that's good because that was, we did start to try to look at the economy before I got all excited about the coal imports. So yeah, last month was only 4,000. How about, oh, we can't do any other than that. So it was certainly one of our bigger expenses. Food is a pretty big expense. Power, 7,000. Clothes, electronics, meat, not such a big deal. Alcohol, pretty low, 500. Iron, 8,000. Yeah, so I wonder if we started doing the coal thing midway, because the 1 month was 20,000. So I think we definitely are saving ourselves some money. The only problem is, do we have a lot of people up here? Yeah, you know what? Let's cut this down to about like 5 people. And let's cut this down. What is 5? 5 is a third of the people. So let's do a third of this would be about 75, something like that. Let's do 70. So at the most, we're going to get a third of the people to each place. So that should at least help a little bit with them not stealing every single worker from the thing. And then the other thing to do is maybe we can assign this guy to work here. There's not too many people in there, but how about once as we build these houses, we'll assign more and more people to just go to work at this bus stop. Oh, look, we don't have any construction assigned. But why don't we leave it there? With no construction assigned, do we have any steel in here? Oh, yes, we do, finally. Oh, good. So we got 34 tons of steel. We can decide what to do as far as more construction goes. Let me pause it, as we normally do at the very end. Give you guys a chance to say goodbye to each other and me. And I'll say goodbye. And whatever other last-minute questions or comments you might have. But we know going into next week, we will have at least a little bit of steel on hand, and we will be making it without the extra cost of coal, and we can decide if we definitely want to move forward and get this built sort of ASAP. Obviously, with how it was going here, we might want to consider ramping this up, though, like I said, I'm leaning towards let's get more steel because, let's get more steel. That's always what I say, isn't it? Or at least a lot. Anyway, there you go. And then, eventually, I guess we hope to start working on this. But we can vote at the beginning of next week for those of you guys who are here in the beginning. And if you have a vote, you can always leave it in the comments during the week. I'll see it, I'm sure. Yeah, by the train station, do you mean the cargo loading and unloading? It is really more like a train station, isn't it? It would be kind of nice, though, if they had, like, the road cargo station. Where's the road cargo station version that's, like right near my house. Or not right near, but close enough. There's a tank farm, where they store fuel and whatever else. And there's a building that looks almost identical to this, in a sense, maybe a little bit less rusty, that they pull the tankers in all the time. It's like a drive-through building, and it's just specifically there to load the trucks, the tanker trucks, just like the cisterns, whatever you want to call them. Just like this. So it wouldn't, and then it would give you the added parking spaces, because there's really no benefit to that rail unloading, cargo loading station here. This one, I mean, you say it's a train station, but it doesn't it connects the trains, but it also does the trucks. But it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't give you any extra parking spaces, which is really probably makes it just a train station, doesn't it? Hey, John, how are you? What do you mean uninstall the game? Yeah, no, I'm not. If you've never made YouTube videos, I don't mess with anything with the game that I kind of don't have to. So, yeah, Fox Gaming, take care. And yeah, I'm just leaving. Um, just leaving. But yeah, no, I don't mess with the game. I'm just glad it starts up every time. After 145 episodes or whatever I've recorded at this point, you're just glad when it starts and your file didn't corrupt and people talk about mods and you say, yeah, mods corrupt stuff sometimes, and you know, you just want to keep it all flowing smoothly at that point. So no, I know you're joking. I get it. I'm not joking though. I don't mess with uninstalling the game. It's all good. So, but anyway, yeah, you just missed it. You'll have to watch the replay when it pops up. From what I've noticed, it comes up pretty quickly if you wanted to watch it. It doesn't take hours. So, but anyway, I definitely appreciate you guys watching again and joining me here. I hope you learned something. I did learn a few things today, which is great. And I will definitely plan on being back next weekend about the same time, 2 o'clock my time, Eastern U.S. Yeah, oh no, I can't. The game has been. Hey, I've spent 600 hours making episodes, like, and I'm really actually. When I first started out, if you told me I was going to go 145 episodes, I would have thought something. And 600 hours into a map, I would have definitely in an early access game that was obviously buggy and having problems, and you used to build a road, and any time a dump truck came up, like 2/3 of the time or a third of the time, like the whole game would just crash out on you to the point where I just stopped, like any of these little footpaths or little, that's why I'm pointing here, any of these little house roads, I just started like auto purchasing them because your game would crash so much. So I never thought it would get this far. So yes, hats off to the developer. That problem's all gone. And I think the biggest thing that I know I can crash the game is deleting rail signals in certain situations. That's something else I think they need to work on. But they seem to be working on the rail signaling, pretty consistently with updates. So, but no, they haven't blown the map saves yet, which a lot of early access games do. So we'll keep going until they do. Yeah, if you've been playing the game since the beginning, that was a royal pain. Like, especially if you like to auto construct, like or construction yard construct like I do. It just kept crashing and crashing and crashing, and again, it just got to the point where you would auto construct at least the little ones because it didn't seem to crash so bad. I don't know, on like the bigger, longer stretches of road. But no, they've done a great job, the devs. Everybody has their complaints about anything that you do as long as I have, and so if you guys do hear me ever complain about what's going on in the game, it's not with animosity or maybe it's just my opinion. It's the guy, and I know they're fixing stuff left and right, and if they fix things or change them to suit my taste, that's all the better. But if they don't, I still give them 2 thumbs up on the job they've done, and I've really enjoyed their game. It truly is a fun and slightly different game. I've played other city builders, but this one, I just really like the construction aspect of it. I just like being able to send these guys out and get this stuff built and figure out what to build next, and don't have enough steel and need to get the steel going more, and oh my gosh, my money's still going down. Oh, that's because you got a massive traffic jam over here. And now you're not exporting any oil anymore because something dumb that you did or whatever it was. So I enjoy the heck out of it. All right, so I'm going to say goodbye. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Leave any comments. I will get comments left on this video throughout the week. So if John, if you do end up watching it, don't feel like you can't make some comments. I will see them. Just like a regular video, I would see them. All right, guys. Have a good weekend and a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.